All right, race control telling us that I think that we are live. Versix, you there?
Yes, I am here. And today,
All right.
boys and girls, we have a very special guest with us. He goes by the name of Ooh Can Do. I
Here
think
we
you
are,
guys have
baby,
heard of
live
him.
in action, live in the flesh, they say.
That's right. So how's everybody doing today with National eSTOL? You guys ready to see some Oregon Trail stole? Cam, what do you know about Oregon Trail? You ever been out to the airport over there?
Yeah, we were just there last week. It was hot and it was dusty, really dusty. Like I'm very glad to be indoors, not having to deal with crazy allergies because that dust was for real.
So I know
But
when we go to Gallatin, Tennessee, there's a big pronunciation thing there. You know, we got to pronounce it Gallatin. Now, Oregon, I've heard a lot of people, tit for tat about the pronunciation of Oregon. So how do you pronounce Oregon? I say
you know,
Oregon.
everybody out there was saying Oregon, so I am cool with Oregon. I think that's gonna work. I don't think the Oregon or oregano
Yeah,
or
Oregon. I don't.
Oregano.
I don't think anyone says that. I think that's a false myth. I think it's a myth.
I think it's
Yeah,
a
that's
old
I just
wives'
call it
tale.
Oregon. So today we have another beautiful scenery made for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And guys, we're doing some eSTOL today, and a lot of you guys will know what eSTOL is. But if you don't know what eSTOL is, we're gonna run a little clip for you guys called "What is STOL?" So if you don't know, pay attention, and you're gonna find out what STOL is right now.
Action.
Aronson. Takeoff and landing competitions are simple. We have the pilots here competing in separate classes to get the lowest score possible. As you see behind me, we have the start-finish line, so let's start with the takeoff.
This runway is marked with a start-finish line, and as a competitor parks their main gear on the line, they apply power and position their aircraft to get off the ground as soon as possible. Once their main gear leaves the ground, a line judge will mark their takeoff score using the measuring line along the side. This score will be added to the pilot's landing score on this heat. The landing is in two parts. It's either over the line and counted, or if the pilot's main gear touches down before the line, or even touches the line, this heat score is scratched and results on a landing disqualification, and the pilot will have to rely on another takeoff and landing score to get them on the podium. A quick look at our aircraft shows we have two types of landing gear: tricycle and tail draggers. On the tail dragger aircraft, the score is marked from the two main wheels toward the front of the airplane. And for tricycle landing gear, the score is marked by the two main gear in the rear of the aircraft. It's a fierce competition out here, but at the end of the day, it's all about building better and safer pilots in the skies.
It's a great day for STOL competitions. Let's get it started.
Yeah, I just now realized that that video has an awesome audio track to it. Every time I get to hear it, I'm in the booth with Ryan, so I hear Reese's voice, but I never get to hear the music.
There you go. It was a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Very cinematic.
Yes, very. Well, Corey, man, it's been what, 2 months since we did our
It's
little
in
interview.
2 months. That seems like forever ago, but yeah, I guess so. It was a great time too.
Yeah, absolutely. How what's changed for you since then?
You know, absolutely nothing. Still doing the same old same. Still streaming over on Twitch, doing some bush fights with the boys, and it's an honor to be here, commentating with everybody today, and hopefully watching a really great competition between these pilots. Man, I'm excited about it.
Heck yeah, we're glad to have you here. As we are rounding up or uh, gearing up for our touring class, we'll do the the lineup for you. So we've got number 123 Mark Hawkins in the Wilga ADP, number 97 Tom Smith in the Wilga ADP as well, number 94 Victor Vosser in the Mall M7, and number 942 Brown Dog in another Wilga ADP. And that's the first heat, I believe.
I believe so. They love that ADP, don't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This might as well just be the Wilga class.
Well, you got Victor out here trying to change things up, maybe go against the grain. So you got to respect that.
Heck yeah. And I think we're getting we'll have some audio from Burstix here in a moment. I think we may be having some technical difficulties with him. I saw his lips moving but heard no sound. But while we're getting geared up for Mr. Burstix, we got Tom Smith, Mr. Smitty, number 97, that beautiful black and yellow Wilga ADP.
Start the class off.
This go around. Yeah. I don't think this go around. We've got in-house in-cockpit video of him, but he normally likes to run that super swanky rig that he has that we've seen. He's got like a hole in his wall behind him from where like the rig hit the wall.
Oh, that's the crazy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to gut that room and just put steel walls up or something. Maybe padded walls too. That might be safe. Because that thing gets out of control, I think.
Dude, he needs to put on a suit so he doesn't get bruised, because it does get out of control. And we just saw Victor Vosser in the Mall M7. Victor is from Poland. Scotch
long
oof.
ways from home.
Yes. For real, long ways from home. Heck yeah. And then we got Brown Dog with that super awesome livery that he created with the American flag on the tail.
Yeah, that tail was awesome. Oh, you got the cowling too. Look at that on the cowling.
Oh yeah, and the what are those? The cow flaps in the front.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't notice that last go round. And there's Smitty right there with his super rig at the house.
That thing is something else, man.
Man, it is so insane. I'm jealous. Like, I literally want that just to invite people over to the house and be like, yo, you want to see something really cool? Yeah. Come check out this rig.
It's got to be a decent learning curve, though, because I'm sure there's a lot of motion. It can't feel natural, especially with VR. Maybe he's better at VR than I am, but I think it would take me a few days just to get used to the motion in that thing.
I mean, I think you hit a good point on there because last year at FS Expo, Bursty went and did like the full motion simulator with VR right before the broadcast, and he came back, he sat down, and he was sweating, he was white, like whiter than usual. Like, I mean, like, it was just like, bro, are you okay? And he's like, man, I tried that new simulator, and I'm sick. I am sick.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I did one at Sun and Fun. It wasn't full, but it was with VR, and I was in a helicopter. And I got up and stumbled a little bit. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good, dude. I'll just stay at my desk, man. That's cool with me. I don't need all that. I think without VR, I could do it, but the VR trips me.
Oh man, yeah. I haven't really tried it, but after Bercy's experience, like I'm very interested, and also just a tidbit like just weary of like, am I going to come out sweating and like pale, or is it, am I going to be like Lewis Hamilton in that viral video of the G's video? Have you seen that video of him compared to other people taking G's? Yeah,
absolutely. All right, looks like we're lining up here.
Well, there's Bursty. He's giving us a wave. I think his audio is having some issues. We'll get him back on, but it's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, you too.
And he's
excited.
Also, oh yeah, absolutely. And then we've got him times two, because we've got that live view of the eSTOL trailer out there on the field, and we've got a green flag from race control.
All right. Let's see what he's got. ADP is a little difficult to get that tail up. I'm curious. I think it's kind of hit or miss with it, especially with the winds, which it looks like we got a nice little headwind straight down the pipe there.
Yeah. Yeah, which was awesome from last week as well. And here we go.
There he is. He's off. Like right before that halfway mark.
Mr. Barricus, Mr. Mark Hawkins, we'll get that number in just a moment.
Is that LBR is Mark Hawkins?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It's like a 227 maybe? Or
yep,
is it
220.
Let's see.
220 on the score sheet. All right, Smitty.
Similar takeoff.
Yeah. Probably, what are you thinking? Like maybe 10 feet shorter?
Maybe 10
Mark?
earlier. Yeah, maybe 210 or 208.
Man, I guess we missed actual liftoff because they're saying 176 on that takeoff.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, that's cool. Victor Vosser on the takeoff roll in the M7.
Oh, do we have Burstix TV audio, I think?
Oh, we do have Burstix TV audio.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
All right. So I guess I'm back. I don't know what's going on. I've checked everything on my end, and it doesn't seem to be any. I think last time it was permissions issue, but this time it seems to be just something else. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. Or, well, welcome. I guess I'll welcome myself back.
Welcome yourself back, and welcome back, Burstix.
Yeah, and I missed something, but I wanted to mention, when Kando mentioned he had a stream, it's a really good idea to get into a stream because this whole thing started around a few people, and if I never saw Kando doing, he was flying a Husky that day. If I never would have seen him, I never would have stopped and even looked at bush flying. So if, I was flying helicopters in the flight simulator looking for someone, and I saw Kando, and he just looked interesting enough. I'm like, I got to check this guy out. And then, boom, World of Bush a couple years ago. Sure. Yeah. That's how I found it.
Probably, 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So, yeah, and we appreciate you coming by, and, everything starts somewhere. So
that's right, man. I like to call Kando, at least in my experience, the godfather of my bush career.
I'll take that. Yeah, I like that.
Heck yeah. I just love the fact that when I got dropped into everything last year at FS Expo, like I got to meet all the people all at the same time and kind of have that special treat of getting to see half of us, or not really half of us, but a majority of us, or the eSTOL competitors, like live, like competing live. And, for me, it was something that's kind of normal because I'm used to being in real life and seeing the competitors and being there in the booth with Ryan and everything.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, for it to be the same thing, but at FS Expo, and it was a treat. I got spoiled.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was just crossed the line. That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
And they're gonna give that 20? No, that can't be 20.
Well, Barricus is a veteran, so I wouldn't be, it wouldn't be crazy if he got 20. But it looks about just over the 100-yard line. I think it looked like he's past the red, so it would be just actually 100 feet.
Yeah, 109 on that, I think.
109.
Yeah, 109. They are nailing their landings today, right on the line every time.
So for anyone in the chat that didn't hear it, and also because I was trying to get my sound working, does anybody know what the winds are today? What are we looking at down the runway?
Man, we had them.
It looks fair. We call them 2 knots. Yeah, 2 knots from 293. So nothing much
Not too
there
much.
to help them or mess them up.
Right. At least that 2 knots that's there is seemingly going right down the runway, and what a beautiful runway that is.
And I believe that was a go around for Bitker.
Yep.
Go around.
And special note about that runway. So Ontario is technically in the desert region of Oregon, and that green that you're seeing, the only green on the screen, essentially, they have irrigation for that spot on the field. Oh, it looks like a scratch for Brown
Looks like
Dog.
a scratch.
But they have that field irrigated, so that is the only green that you're going to see out there on the airport, pretty much all year round.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we were getting blasted with dust the whole time, like setting up and during the broadcast, and so was the audience. But like at the same time, we were staring at green, and it was like where's this dust coming from?
This is so
But you have to
confusing.
remind
Yeah.
yourself. Oh, dude, it's
Yeah,
so
that's when
confusing.
you go home at the end of the night and you blow your nose and it's black all over the. If anybody's still using a handkerchief.
Oh man, that is one of those competitions that, well, you know what? Honestly, so far this year in real life, like the IRL
Wow.
competitions have been like that.
Ooh,
Oh,
very
Vic
close.
just
I think it was
beautiful.
good. Kando, what do you
I
think?
believe that
You
was
think
clean.
safe? Clean.
I think that was
That's
clean
what I
on
think
my
too.
end. We'll see here.
Yeah, it looked really good. Speaking of looking really good, that mall is looking really good.
Looks like
It
that
is
go
looking
around. I don't
really
know
good.
if he had to do that go around or that was a choice, but that was a good decision either way.
Yeah.
He nailed that one his second go. That was 102 foot for Victor Vassar.
Yeah, Victor is a one-of-a-kind type of guy. That guy could land the 170B, the one that we used to have in the competition. He could land that like nobody's business. And it looks like he's transferring over those skills right to the mall because I haven't seen him have a bad landing yet. So,
Right. Our current leaderboard is Tom Smith with a score of 312, Mark Hawkins at 329, and Victor Vassar with 370. Tom Smith taking the lead here in the first round.
yeah, I think the Wilgas are going to be the most competitive in the class for the most part. And so that's why you see more of those flying. A lot of the guys are going to choose to fly that. And I think a lot of it has to do with that leading edge slat. It's a it doesn't
nice
move.
kickoff.
It's a stable leading edge flat. What's the actual terminology for that, Cam? It's on the tip of my tongue here. The leading edge slat. That's
it's just a fixed slat.
okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, a wing ahead of the wing, essentially.
So, Chad, I'm going to ask you guys on YouTube and on the Bursix TV channel, what is your favorite Wilga livery of the day? Between the three of them, we have Smitty's Skull and Bones livery, we have Baracus's Ferrari livery, and then we have Brown Dog in the American flag livery. So if you guys in the chat want to post in your favorite livery, doesn't have to be your favorite pilot, just what livery do you like the most out of the Wilgas today?
That was a nice 205 there from Smith. There's that Maul again getting up early. He's coming for that top spot, I believe. Waiting for
Looks
the
like
scores here.
We have our first answer here. Miss Brown Dog from the YouTube chat says, Brown Dogs, I think she may be a little biased. Maybe.
A little biased
but it's a great livery, though, and you can see it on the screen right now. It's such a good livery that, what do you do? I would pick it, too.
What's that? 266 from Victor there. Brown Dog getting off nice and early. Did he touch the wingtip there? Don't know if it was close. Saw it drop that left wing.
I think it was a little showmanship. There's not a lot of wind. Maybe he's having flashbacks to last couple weeks ago. Cam, what do you think? The wind a couple weeks ago was wow.
Like he wanted it to fly, but it was like, are you sure? We might fly, I guess. Waiting for that updated score.
A couple more comments in the chat here from the YouTube channel. Cedric P says, must be Fish Foo's livery for me coming up. Captain Cocktail says the American flag. And Sharktail says, I do like Brown Dog's livery, even though I'm a Brit. So, hey, we have a little, we're like, like brotherly, sisterly countries, the U.S. and the Brits. So, hey, I love the old Union Jack, too. It's a great flag.
That was a 132 for that Brown Dog takeoff there. Coming in nice and stable, getting right behind that power curve. Let's see, he can put it down right where he did last time.
So controlled.
Ooh.
Drop the flaps out of it, and he is down a little long, but not terrible.
Wow, nice.
Like they're
over on
gonna
the
give
Burstix
him
TV
a-
chat, they do have a couple answers over there. We have Enpro saying that Baracus was, but he's a little biased because he painted it. And we do have a couple more Wilgos coming from Frozen Alaskan. Kando, what was the number on that?
I believe that last one was a 153 for his stop. A little longer than his previous, but he's took some distance off on his takeoff. And I think that's going to be a scratch there from Tom Smith. Yeah, Smitty with a scratch.
Yeah, poor Smitty. No, he's not going to be happy about that. Although I'm pretty sure he's
No.
still having fun either way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen
down.
his rig?
Yeah.
Right.
He took two,
Right.
2 feet off his takeoff. 268 to 266. Let's see if he can beat his landing, and he'll have his best score yet. Really high angle of attack. Oh, no. I'm not
Ooh.
sure about that one.
Looks to be just short. Obviously,
it
that's
is.
not the official call, but to me, I think just a bit short.
I mean, he did have a lot of energy directed directly into the ground, which would help with the short landing. So we'll see. 83 feet on that.
Wow.
I think that's one of the
That
most
is gonna be
interesting
his best
things.
score today.
Oh, did that count?
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. I
That
thought it
was
was a
in.
scratch. Maybe Oh, it does say called scratch, I guess. Oh, after review, no line violation. Okay.
All right.
All righty.
But I think that's one of the most interesting things about STOL, because anybody can, have a great time and fly in groups on a bush flight and land in these challenging hills after you get the hang of it, right? You got to have somebody teach you. So, I learned through a couple people, but mostly on Kando's Sunday school streams. If you didn't know, Kando's a Sunday school teacher, but of the bush. I think Kando
yeah.
still does them on Sunday.
If you see me in a church, do not come to any class hosted by me. It will not be great. But
it's
in
that's
the
where it
backcountry,
starts.
We can help you out, man. Yeah, if it's in the backcountry, we got you.
Yeah, and that's where it starts. You learn on those strips like that, but when you throw in the added line that you have to, you can't land on it, you can't land before it, you have to land after it. That throws a whole new loop and everything, because now not only are you trying to get stopped, but you're trying to get stopped and not waste anything past the line. So I think it's
Absolutely.
really, really interesting. And if you haven't tried STOL, hop in the flight simulator and get on some STOL yourself.
That looked very short for Brown Dog. He is on the money with his landings today.
He didn't even give up very much either, which is awesome.
No.
I mean,
He was on the
Wow.
brakes immediately.
Yeah. He reminds me of like a golden retriever. How they like get on a ball they're chasing, nose right on it. Just he's focused.
yeah.
Yeah, he's on it for sure.
Get that number in just a moment.
Hetty Hayes is asking, is this still being done on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 over from the YouTube chat? Welcome in, Hetty Hayes. And yes, it is still on 2020. We will be transferring over to 24 at some point. If you want a little more info on that from some of the developers that make the sceneries and stuff like that, you can head over to nationalstol.com/chat, and anybody is welcome in there, whether you want to be a fan, whether you want to help out or just join the conversation, or if you want to be a pilot. And don't be afraid if you don't know how to fly bush or STOL at all. We have people to teach you. People like NorCali, great ambassadors to eSTOL. They'll teach you if you need help. nationalstol.com/chat.
Too. Brown Dog got his first numbers on the board, and he currently is in the lead by a marginal range. He's at 264. The second place is at 303. So finally got numbers on the board and just immediately took the lead right there with that very short landing.
That's wonderful.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, not much splitting those two apart either, Kando. You look at Mark, he's been flying since the very first competition. I'm not sure he's even missed any at all. So you can't count him out yet. Tom's been in here forever. Victor's been, I mean, all these guys are veterans, so even the last guy could still come up, that 80 feet or so that he needs to come up. And so we have a really tight competition here by the numbers and by the talent on the field.
I think it happens every week. There's an upset of some sort. Somebody will come back and every foot matters. And move up a spot or move down a spot. I mean, that's why it's so important to get those numbers on the board round one so that you can get a little more aggressive round 2 and 3. But if we're fighting to get numbers on the board round 2, we're kind of we're in a tight spot there.
That's a really good point. Kando is 100% correct. You want to make sure that you're getting those safe runs out of the way in the beginning so that way you can get a score down. But yeah, you're going to see it get crazier and crazier as the rounds go on throughout each heat.
That was Victor. Look, pretty average for that mall. He's been really consistent on those takeoffs. Going to be coming in at a 282, maybe just longer. Yeah, a little bit longer than his previous takeoffs there.
Shark Tales from the YouTube chat said, who would win if the commentators had 2 rounds? I don't think I would even score. I haven't flown in quite some time. I have a baby. I'm getting my business back together from not doing too much with it for the last few years. So I think between Kando and Cam, who probably hasn't flown in a long time, I would have to go with Kando, hands down.
I'm going with Kando. Yes, sir.
We're all voting.
This one, I'm going Cam takes it. I don't do well under pressure.
That would just be by sheer luck. I mean, I haven't touched the Yaw Man since it's been way too long. It's been way too long.
He's dusty.
It's dusty and I'm dusty. In fact, I would say that it's dusty and I'm rusty.
All right. Another one coming down for an approach. Mark Hawkins, pretty consistent scores there. Decent landing. Gonna roll it out a little longer than he'd like, I think, but that's not going to be bad. It's numbers on the board. I'm not sure there. Still waiting on those numbers. Tom Smith coming in, currently in 3rd place. Looked like that tail wheel touchdown just before the line. Gave up a little bit of space, but not bad. Was a 169 there from Tom.
Love the look of those flaps dropping down as he gets into position for his 3rd landing.
Those small flaps are absolute barn doors, man. Them things are huge. Luckily, he's got all
if he can-
235 horse to keep that thing moving.
Yeah, if he could work them fast enough, he could probably fly just with the flaps.
And good over the line. Man, these guys are tearing it up.
You ain't right, man.
Seriously.
Versix has got the dad jokes for days out here, brother.
You visualize that, right? Somebody working the flaps that fast. It's almost like a bird.
I did.
Now, how great it is, though, to have Kando and Cam casting with me today. It's always a good time casting, but if I was by myself, it definitely would not be as good of a time. So big shout out to those guys for taking the time out of their day and coming to join it with eSTOL. And if you guys are watching out there, man, don't forget to slap the like button on the YouTube and follow button on the Twitch. Subscribe, all that good stuff.
Brown Dog with a very good landing, looking to improve that score. Not sure exactly what he got, but we're going to see here in just a minute.
Yeah, I will say I miss being in the simulator. One of the things that I used to mess around a lot with, other than PC problems, was making liveries. And I seeing Brown Dog's livery, it's the most recent one, you know, the newest, the hottest livery in my opinion. And seeing that livery, it's almost got me over on paint.net right now, whipping up my own American flag livery. But I won't do it while we're streaming. I'll wait until later.
Brown Dog got his best run of the day right there. 118 takeoff, 124 landing, and he is still in the lead with a score of 242. And I think that's it for that that grouping. Second group is lining up now, getting those big radials warmed up. Let's see what they can put down.
So we have a really solid run from the first four, and so kind of a plus for the second group is, you know, they know what they have to beat now. And so everybody's going to be shooting for that 242 or lower. So watch for these guys to be really going to town.
They've been studying the film, or they better have been, because some of these boys are putting down some good numbers.
Yeah, in first place we have Brown Dog with 242. Second place, Mark Hawkins, 303. Third place, Tom Smith with 312. And Victor Vosser in the Mall M7 in fourth place. Currently, we have another heat, and that score was 349. We have another heat of touring with number 92, Frozen Alaskan, of course, in a Wilga ADP from Alaska. Number 3, Tim's Primetime from Ontario. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Canada. And number 24, Fish Foo from Colorado. All three in the Wilga ADP.
That must be a decent plane. Can't be bad. They're all flying it.
Right?
Them friends boys do some good work. I know that for sure.
Yeah, definitely got friends, man. They're one of the quintessential developers of the sim. Those guys, they make a mean plane.
Hey, Burstix, I don't know if you saw what was written on those flaps, but I'm going to tell it to you because I think it's valuable. It said, "Fly good, don't suck."
Nice. I love it, man. That's Frozen Alaskan that wrote that on there. I think that's perfect. I think he flies in real life, so he really means it when he says it.
Yeah, he does. He's up there in Alaska flying, I believe, 185s.
Nice. It's a great plane,
Yeah, that is the mantra of the late Rob Holland. Fly good, don't suck.
I think it's been twisted a few times. I think there's a fly good, don't die out there somewhere. I'm sure there's multiple versions.
I believe so.
And we got to bring up the old Intimidator livery. I don't know. That might have, just if it had, you know, and I'm biased, you know, I'm an American, so I mean, I'd like that Intimidator livery. Maybe it would win if it had an American flag on the back, but hey, we still love our Canadian friends.
I like its
That is good
uniqueness.
livery. Yeah.
Like seeing the Intimidator out there with the Canadian flag on the back, like it's unique, and I give it all the props, literally.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely. You got
also
it.
a really clean. It's not overdone. It's not in your face. It's just, it is what it is. It's clean, and it's a statement piece for sure.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you got to rep your flag. And that's one of the things I said last a couple weeks ago was if you guys are flying from different countries, man, rep your flag. And I don't know if anybody has changed their livery because of that, but I encourage all the pilots, you guys, rep your flags from your countries. We love to see the international, all the different flags that come in for eSTOL. There's a lot of different countries that are involved in eSTOL. And it's something that logistically would be really difficult to do in real life. I mean, you can't necessarily fly your Wilga across the pond, so to speak, every here and there. It's one of those things that really kind of left for the sim to be doing international STOL, but that's one of the things eSTOL is really cool. So no matter where you're from, you can join in nationalstol.com/chat.
Yeah, that Wilga ain't getting very far. If there's one thing I know about, it's that radio is thirsty. I'm surprised they're able to do a pattern out here just to do one round, because I swear I don't make it out of a county before I got to fill up my Wilga.
Yeah. Gas and oil thirsty. Good thing oil is not in the sim.
Ooh, I love the little PZL on the back instead of GM.
Oh, that is cool. Okay.
Man, the what do you call it? The artistic, man. Some of the people, like, it's like, hey, we love aviation, but also like these guys are freaking artists, man. A lot of these people do their own liveries too. It's really, I mean, I've done a lot of liveries and I've done some, some good ones, so to speak, from ratings on flightsim.to where I've released them. But I'll tell you what, I don't think I've made anything half as cool as some of the liveries you see out here.
They definitely get creative. I know that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I might have a few Busch Light liveries, laying around in a hangar somewhere. But maybe you'll see them again. Maybe you won't. I might retire them. I'm not sure.
It's just if you're feeling it one day, you might whip it back out. Even I think he's even got maybe a Busch Light Apple livery laying around somewhere too. I mean, you got Kendall's got liveries for days.
She's dusty. She hasn't seen the light of day in quite some time. So
I think they quit making it too, right?
We're not talking about that.
No.
You don't want to go Busch Light Apple, okay?
I never got a chance to taste it. I was just thinking about what you were all talking about and like, oh yeah, that was a drink. Man.
It's out. So it's currently they started making it again, but it's very, very limited. And I've seen people load up flatbed trailers and drive like 200 miles to empty a store. So you can't find it. If you do find it, hold on to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good thing I live in Arkansas. Nobody wants to come here for anything.
Yeah, you might find it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, boys and girls, it looks like we do have the green flag. Frozen Alaskans taken off. Another great livery, by the way. Didn't get a chance to mention it, but great takeoff out of a great livery, out of a great Alaskan pilot.
Halfway mark looks about average. It's really interesting to see all the Wilgas do their takeoffs and how close they are. And it's really funny when you see an outstanding takeoff because it's noticeable. And maybe they got a gust of wind down the lane. Maybe they just got lucky. But these pilots are so consistent in their takeoff distance. That was a 202 there from Frozen Alaskan. Tim's Prime Time. What a name. Very good takeoff there. Looking about average with the Intimidator livery. What a beauty.
It's pretty cool the differences we see in the takeoffs now from the beginning of these competitions somewhere around a year and a half to 2 years ago. Everybody was taken off. Well, I guess we were flying the larger engine Wilga with bigger tires on it, but at that time, everybody was, raising the tail up and taking off in that fashion. But now, and I think with some input from the real world Wilga pilots, you know, they had mentioned, hey, you know, when you take off in a Wilga, you're supposed to take off 3-point, as you see right here. And so a lot of the pilots switched the way that they did it, and it upped their numbers. So pretty cool parallel from the real world aviation to the sim world. It's pretty parallel.
Yeah. There's Fish View's takeoff. Tim's prime time came out at 1:57, about 50 foot shorter than Frozen Alaskan. We're still waiting on Fish View's results here. It's kind of hard to tell. They're super close together. They're all around that 150, 200 range. We should have an update here on Fish View.
Gotta love that name, Fish Foo.
He's a great pilot. He's a great pilot. Make sure you go check him out on Twitch. He does some bush stuff over there. Very good guy.
Yeah, I've got into a couple of his flights, some of his around the world flights, some good times in Fish Foo's channel.
Frozen Alaskan on right base final. The plane looks great even from far out. Just has some, it's so weird and gangly looking, but it still has some great lines.
It's got a very unique profile, an undeniable shape.
Very undeniable.
A little bit over the line there.
Yeah, yeah.
But numbers on the board for round one. You can't complain about that.
Right. Rather not scratch. Put some numbers on the board and not scratch for sure. And at the end of the season, I mean, it all counts.
Absolutely. He gave up about 74 feet there. His total is 193 for that landing. His total score is a 395 there for Frozen Alaskan for round one.
All right.
Here comes old primetime Tim. Short final.
Yeah.
Super high.
Listen to the
Hanging
sound.
it on the prop.
Big scratch from Tim.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
It
going to have
looks
to
so
make up for
promising.
that in the next round. But he was going for it, you know. That's the thing is, I always like to say, if you don't see people scratching, in my opinion, they're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. Here comes Fish Foo down the line. Fish Foo had a... What was his takeoff? Oh, we never got his actual takeoff distance. Just over the line. Nice. A little bit long on the rollout, but again, points on the board. Now we can start pushing our limits a little bit.
I'm happy we can hear the radials now, man. Listen to the sound of that Wilga. And those are sounds recorded from an actual Wilga. Got friends put the time and energy into recording a real Wilga, so what you're hearing is the real thing.
Frozen Alaska lined up waiting for that green flag. Started off his run with a 202 takeoff. It's not too shabby, but we've seen that you can cut a decent amount off that. So let's see what he's got for us. And there it is. Fly good, don't suck, brother.
Speaking of flying good, don't suck, I want to give a big old shout out to Frozen Alaskan on the old Twitch stream. If you guys want to check him out on Twitch, try to get out shout outs to everybody. We did shout out to Kando, shout out to a couple other people before him. If I missed anybody, don't feel bad. Try to get to everybody.
Nice takeoff, consistent there. I think he's going to be around that 202 mark. We'll see what Pool reads us. 225, just a little bit longer there. It's interesting to watch everybody's methods of how they use the flaps. Some people start with one notch, some people start with full flaps, some people start with no flaps and dump them in right at the end. Lots of different techniques going on here, and given the day and the time and the weather, there definitely is a better technique. It's all about finding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about STOL too, is it can be so different on any given day, even if you're at the same field. I mean, there's just so many different variables with aviation, and then you throw, you know, a STOL competition into that, and it's just so interesting. And to watch the pilots, I mean, you go into, you know, 80K holds like practice nights and things like that, and you go into the Discord on a practice night and you see 20 people filling up a Discord. I don't think I see 20 people in a single Discord chat anywhere else. I mean, and I'm in hundreds of Discords. I gotta get rid of some of them, but you know, so it's a pretty
problem.
yeah, I do. It's a pretty tight group, and you know, they're all really cool people, guys, gals from all over the world, and they're all willing to, you know, reach out and teach any new people. So, new people,
yep.
If you guys want to,
and
I'm sure there's
no gatekeeping of techniques either, because I can teach you the best technique possible, but if you can't execute it when you have to execute it, then you know, it's not going to help you out. So you got to be able to put it down on the numbers and do the techniques when they need to be done. But it seems like they all help each other and sharpen. Everybody sharpens each other and gets better every week, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. They're all very open with all the techniques and stuff, and I think that's another parallel from National STOL. If you go to one of the real life competitions, those guys are the same way. I mean, you don't see, you know, Dan Reynolds keeping secrets about you know, his plane, although I don't think anybody flies a plane quite that similar to Dan Reynolds' plane that he could really, you know, give too many secrets out about that specific plane. But yeah,
there's one guy
who, yeah, I was going to ask
Keith.
You, Cam.
Yeah, Russ Keith has a Chinook. He has a 2 place. He has the plus the plus 2.
Got the 2 up.
But Dan, yep. But Dan definitely has the single seat, the DR, his actual version. But,
last year I was.
Oh, I don't know. He's trying to get those numbers on the board. I don't know if he's going to.
That okay? Called scratch.
He's going for it, man. Tim is not messing around.
I was going to say about the Dan Reynolds, I thought Dan Reynolds owned all of the Chinooks. I didn't know that I thought he had just kind of hoarded them in his hangar, because he's got like 5 of them, I think, or something.
Yeah, he does. He does have a few of those airframes.
Buying everybody's Chinooks for parts.
He does own the license for building his version, the DR.
Okay.
And I don't think that the plus 2s are made anymore. But yeah, he does own the rights to the building Chinooks.
Nice.
Yeah, if any of you guys follow Dan on Facebook, man, his life, he lives in Saskatchewan, or somewhere near that anyway. And I mean, dude, that guy is just so blessed. I mean, and I'm sure he's worked hard for it too, you know, and choosing to live where he lives is not probably an easy thing, because it's way out in the middle of nowhere. But when you look what he gets to do, flying that Chinook around in the beautiful areas that he gets to fly in, you know, I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. You know, you look at it, you have to look twice to make sure what you're actually looking at, because Dan flies into places that you wouldn't even, you know, believe.
Frozen Alaskan off nice. I think it might be around his second round takeoff of 225. 348 total there. He cut down 70 feet on his landing. He's getting after it. That was a 182 takeoff.
He's got a pretty interesting technique for all the guys in the Wilgas, because, you know, he applies power. He's holding the brakes. He brings the tail up, and then throws it down and lets go of the brakes, and that might really be helping him out.
Yeah, and that Wilga, I know with the 350 horsepower version will do it. It'll hold the tail on that roll. This Wilga, the 80P, will not actually hold it. So I don't think it's a choice that he's dropping it. It's just not possible to keep it up. I don't know if maybe that tail wheel is bouncing and maybe giving him a little extra. I'm not sure what it is, but it is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was talking a bit about earlier, was that the difference in the takeoffs and how most people did that takeoff you guys were just talking about with the tail up. But it seems as if everybody's doing the 3-point takeoff now, and with the slats on the front of the plane, that's how a Wilga pilot would tell you to take off in a Wilga. But we're talking about a Wilga that has 350 horsepower. You might take off in that a little bit different, but as Kando was saying, this one doesn't have that kind of horsepower.
Right. And we haven't seen from the Wilga pilots, we haven't seen anybody really get that tail wheel up and then pop it back down to rapidly create that lift. It's interesting.
Yeah. I wonder, because with that engine, with that Russian radial, in its many different versions, the props are all huge. So like in a Pitts Model 12, like you aren't supposed to do any wheel landings or any 2-point takeoffs. So yeah, I wonder if the prop also has something to do with that, with them not really doing
just
it in real
keeping
life.
that safety margin from that prop strike.
Yeah.
That was a really good landing there from Frozen Alaskan. His last landing was 123, and he's already cut down his takeoff here. If this is a good landing, he's going to be his best round in round 3. Warmed up round 1, round 2, and he showed us what he had here in round 3. We'll see what he has here.
Looked damn good to me.
133, not bad. Not as short as round 2, but very close, within 10 feet. Comes prime time, looking to get some numbers on the board. And he does.
He's going to do it.
There you go. That's the way to show up to the competition. He's got a really short takeoff, too, for his round 3. That number is going to be important.
Wow, dissipated all of the energy coming in there. It just stalled it 5 feet above the ground. I mean, that is a really good landing for today with no wind. I mean, I don't know how you could get much better than that.
Wow, 113 landing for Tim's prime time. That is That's impressive, brother.
Gorgeous.
Ooh, nice smooth
I won't lie.
landing.
I was getting a little worried.
Fish.
Tim's first couple landings, I was getting a little worried, but he just showed up right there. Beautiful. And fish food.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in. I did not get the chance to see how long of a landing it was, but it looked to be pretty short, like around 140, 150 or so.
Yeah.
And that landing from Tim, this is a really important part. That landing right there, he had 2 DQs. Round 3, he locks it in and brings in a total of 268, which puts him in second place currently with the overall standing here in the touring class. So if you DQ twice, don't give up. I mean, that is literally the definition of just keep trying. That's pretty impressive right there. To not have any numbers on the board, and then round 3 lock it in for a second place position. Shout out to Tim's prime time. He really is in prime time right now.
Heck yeah, man. And he's sweating too. I mean, when you're in that, these guys are all talking in, a chat, and they're all flying together. They have to, take off and land within 30 seconds of each other. I mean, it's a very coordinated lap around this field that they do. And, there's height restrictions involved and everything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that you're thinking about. And I'll tell you, when I went in and did one of the practices, that was when I realized how, realistic this actually feels when you're in a group like that and you're riding around together. So no doubt Tim was sweating it on that last run. And as Candle said, never give up on it, because look at what he did. He just got a second place. Those points are going to follow him to the end of the season and might make you know, it might make up the difference between the first and second place at the end of the season. So great job to Brown Dog in first place with that 242-foot best run. Tim's prime time sliding in right at prime time, 268 for his best run. Mark Hawkins coming in third place at that 303 for the best run. Tom Smith in the full motion simulator, that beautiful beast that he has, 312 for his best run. Frozen Alaskan coming in just shy of Tom's numbers, 315. Victor Vassar in at 349, the only one flying the Mall M7, but he's flying it like someone that would fly a Mall M7 very well, because Victor Vassar is a veteran pilot.
All right. What are we loading up here? Is this the backcountry class next?
I think we might go to a quick commercial break, and I think, Kando, I think you're correct. The backcountry class will be next.
All right. I think we are back live from Oregon National eSTOL. Tuning up to our backcountry class here. Just finished touring. If you guys thought the competition was good in touring, just wait for what we have here. It's going to be spicy. Looking forward to it.
Spicy like Taco Delight.
Right.
I think we do. I don't know, maybe that was in the video, but I think we do have Taco Delight flying today. I think Wes Campbell is, I don't know if he's in this class or not, actually. No, Wes Campbell's in Unlimited. Well, okay, either way, it's going to be spicy like Taco Delight. But now we have 75 Byron Bowman in the Cessna 170B flying out of Kentucky, United States. Race number 86, LBR Gaming, Cessna 170B flying out of Arkansas. Race number 69, Cat Blue Flame in the Cessna 152 flying from Great Britain. And race number 79, Jesse Dobbins in the Husky A1C from Washington.
Beautiful lineup there. I like to see those little variation there in aircraft. We got the two 170Bs, the Cessna 152, and the Husky, all going to perform fairly similar. I'm a big fan of that Husky. I am. That's my baby right there. I'm looking for Jessie to put down something good. Show it how she show out her skills there on that for that 170B. Not that Jessie's a female. I'm talking about the airplane. But I love that bird so much. One of my favorites. I probably have like 400, I don't know, probably more than that in that aircraft. The first bush plane I ever bought for the sim. So I'm a big fan of that Husky, and she's just a beaut.
I'm a big fan of the 170Bs. They're just those classic lines with the with the very distinct tail. Like, you know what aircraft that is.
Right.
It's such a good looking aircraft.
And it's tried and true.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of big fans, the pilots will use the big fans on the front of their planes to pull themselves up to the starting line as we wait here for a green flag.
Nice. I like that. That was a good one.
7 months of being a dad, and he's got some zingers out here, man. The dad jokes are rolling today.
It just comes automatically. I don't even know. My jokes were, they were just regular jokes. Now the dad jokes, they just automatically come. I don't know where it comes from.
But we also got to give some big props here to Cat Blue. I mean, she is bringing out the 152 in a class full of fantastic bush planes. So hopefully she can show up and show these boys what it's all about in that 152. Can't overlook it. Got some downsides to it, electric flaps, but I think she's probably figured out a way to maximize the performance in that little plane. 0200, not making as much horsepower as these other guys, but hey, horsepower's not everything.
Yeah, Kat is definitely the drawing board type of gal. So if there is a way, there's definitely the will. So if there's a way, Kat will have figured out how to make that plane obey her commands and fly right. So, Kando, you have a lot of hours in the sim. Between these two planes, the 170B and the 152, what do you think the main differences between the two is going to be? I mean, just weight is the obvious thing to me, but I mean, is there anything that you have, maybe not, that maybe we won't know?
Well, like I said, the 152's got those electric flaps. So a lot of these guys, we kind of talked about it earlier. Maybe they start up on their rollout with no flaps. With that Johnson bar handle, they're able to input flaps really quickly. With the 152, it's electric, so you got to wait for those motors to input those flaps. So she's going to have a little bit of a slower time getting that lift input, but it's a much lighter aircraft. I would assume it's much lighter. 100 horsepower. I think that 170B might be. Cam, do you know the specs on the horsepower from that? Maybe 150, 140.
On the 170B,
yeah,
I don't know off the top of my head, but we can look that up real quick.
It's going to be more than the 152.
Yes,
and then,
yes, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be more. And then I think that Husky, the A1C, is probably pushing right around that 200 mark. It is a little bit of a heavier aircraft. So I think, really she's got the weight, a little bit less power. But I think the electric flaps are going to be one of the only major downsides here. Obviously, she's rocking with a nose wheel aircraft. Everyone else is in tail wheel. Some pros and cons there. But Kat's a veteran. I'm not going to put it past her to show us what this 152 will do.
No, I wouldn't either. I think you're 100% accurate there, Kando. She definitely puts the plane to the test, and she's going to really. She's either going to go all in or go home. That's the way she does it. She doesn't care about, getting a safe score. She doesn't care. The only thing she wants to do is either win or lose. That's all she cares about. Right. She just wants to get that high lowest number or not. Speaking of the Cessna 170B and the horsepower, it looks like the horsepower output of the 170B is 145. So generated by the Continental C145-2 engine.
But many are modified to have the 0360, the Lycoming 0360, which is 180 to 210.
Which actually this one might have that. I'm not sure though. This is the Carenado version. Maybe someone from chat would know that.
I believe it's going to be that stock 140 for these.
which is kind of typical of a lot of the planes in the sim. A lot of the developers like to keep things stock. You have really good numbers you can work from if you keep things stock, and then obviously the FSTO at FlightSim.to crowd will make their crazy contraptions and things like that. But for the most part, I think it's best for a developer a lot of times to keep things stock, and then especially in a plane like the 170B.
Absolutely. Another downside to these 170Bs, the Coronado specifically, like we have the green flag, is that spring steel suspension is a little bit bouncy. So if you come in with a lot of energy directed right at the ground, you're gonna bounce a little bit, which is gonna increase that ground roll on your landing.
Speaking of those electric flaps on the 150, on the 152, I think one of the things I would be most worried about is the transition from, flying to landing, because when you land, you want to get the flaps out. You want to put the flaps up and get rid of all the lift. And I think if, those electric engines are going to be pretty slow. So it'll be interesting to see. And I want you guys in the chat and who's watching, I want you guys to pay attention to see, when does Kat put the flaps up on her landing? Does she do it early, or does she do it when she lands? I think she's going to do it early, definitely.
Oh no! Touchdown after the marks. I'm not sure what that constitutes as.
That would just be considered from wherever the wheels touch the second time the landing, as long as there's no disqualifications for for flying, any flying issues or anything like that. But seemingly it would just be 600. I think 600 is the highest score you can get, because we don't have markers past that. So I think they'll just give that person, LBR Gaming, a 600. And not sure what happened there. It looks like maybe pulled a little too early or something and didn't quite have flying speed.
She is off.
Okay.
Yep, they give him a 651 for that one. We had two.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. We had 340 for Byron Bowman, 323 from Cat Blue in the Cessna 152, and they're going to give him a 6 LBR. They're going to give a 651. We got Jesse Dobbins lined up in the Husky A1C. Again, I just love this bird. Such a beautiful aircraft, and he performs pretty well as well. Hitting off right before that halfway marker.
And he'll be sending them a bill
down. It really drags up.
He'll be sending them a bill for the grass. He's mowing the grass for them a little bit with that prop getting down so low to the ground. But really, there's a ton of space in reality. But I love the way that looks when they put that prop so low to the ground. It looks like they're cutting the grass a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm seeing two different values here for Jesse's takeoff. I've got a 234 and a 254. Not exactly sure which one is going to count. I would assume that 254, but I'm not sure. Oh,
okay.
Coming in, getting that prop down, aggressive on the brakes there.
And you did notice, as Kando mentioned, with the shocks on this, or the spring gear on this plane, it was a little bouncy, but not enough to cause the plane to come up off the ground. So it seems as if that was a great landing.
Yeah, you don't want to just slam those gear into the ground like you would with something with a good shock system. But the 170B is still a good. Oh yeah, but it's still a good performer. I mean, like, you're not gonna get aggressive with it in the bush, but you can get into the bush for sure.
That one looked close. I'm not sure what they're gonna say on that one. If it
Yeah,
is,
no, go ahead, sir.
If it's not a scratch, that was a great landing.
Yeah, my screen skipped. Like, I literally skipped a frame, and then he was already on the ground. So I did not see what that was, but looks like
they're going to give it to him. A 126-foot landing from, I believe that was Byron.
Or LBR Gaming. Heck yeah.
Is that LBR? Okay.
In the last one, the last 170
Last
beam.
one, yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here comes
Yes, sir.
Cat in. Keeping those flaps, not even an attempt. But you know, here's the thing about reducing those flaps. Some flaps create so much drag that it can help you, you know.
Yeah.
But you're not really going to get them up in time with those electric flaps, unfortunately.
Yeah, they are slow.
Looks like they're going to give her Is that a scratch?
I see.
I'm not sure.
Jesse Dobbins on approach, but it looks like he's going to do a go around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
Cat
remember,
maybe
when you
was
have-
a little confused there.
You have that nose wheel aircraft, so they're going from the back set of wheels, wherever the two wheels are, whether it's tail dragger or nose wheel, they're going to judge the scoring from where the wheels are to. So in this case, it's the back.
I'm not sure what they're going to do on that one. Looks like they gave it to her with a 481 total. So for our first round here in the backcountry class, we have LBR Gaming with 425, Pat Blue Flame with a total of 481, and Byron Bowman with a total of 629.
See a little longer numbers from this class.
Well, and I misspoke there because Byron hasn't had the chance to land yet. He did that go around there for Cat, so here he is on final. And that beautiful yellow Husky A1C. Don't look up the prices on those things. You really just don't want to know.
Yeah, I think I think you would get like what are they? There's a plane that's just like a Husky or very similar to a Husky, but it's like half the price. Oh gosh, I can't think of what it's called. But those are like when you see the price of a Husky, you might if you don't have the cash, you might look at something a little similar but less money. It's too deep for my pockets, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And he touched down there at 69 feet. We're going to see what they call this landing. Gave up a little room past the line there. We're going to give him 399 for his total. So kind of a long landing there. But hey, again, numbers are on the board. Now we can really dial it back and start getting a little more aggressive.
Getting our pilots lined back up with Byron Bowman pulling up to the line. Byron in third place right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking to improve on that 629 there.
Oh, yeah.
And he can do it too. It's plenty of room to improve. He's dropping those flaps and rotating. Sometimes it can be hard to judge exactly where he leaves the ground, especially in the grass, and kind of mess you up. And they kind of drag it off there with that tail wheel slaps down. Looks like they're going to give him, still waiting on results, a 291 takeoff there. I believe that's going to be a decent upgrade there from his round one takeoff.
Yeah, he shaved about 49 feet off of his round one takeoff, so currently in third place. If he can,
LBR. Similar takeoff. I wonder if the winds have adjusted just a little bit. We haven't checked that windsock. I'm kind of curious now. Nope, it's about the same. Pretty much dead out there right now, so they're not getting any help from the winds in Oregon. Well, I guess Ontario, Oregon Trail STOL, sorry. Got Blues on the roll in the pink and black, 152. Very good takeoff from Kat. She's got to keep it up.
Yeah, that happened to us last week in real life at the competition. There were a couple times where there was more than a couple times where the wind was dead, but then we'd be looking out and there'd be like a dirt devil or like a dust devil, like just swirling
Headed that way.
out in the distance. Yeah. And then the winds would
Little
pick up.
miniature tornado.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them, and we had two that were definitely like pretty substantial.
Jesse Dobbins lining up. He's got the green flag. Oh, give him a little,
looking for
cut
pennies, as Kat would say.
Yes.
And he is
big
off
tail
just
raise.
around that halfway mark. Be just longer. Looking for pennies. Don't look too long.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's
So
kind of a
somewhere
shame
around
too. This
300.
has the no reversible prop in the sim, unfortunately. I wish we had it, but no help on those landings in that Husky.
Does that
Yeah,
come
Austin
standard
Husky.
in the Husky, though,
No.
Kando, the reverse prop?
No, it is a big upgrade. Big upgrade.
So I know a couple of the guys in the real life National STOL series have the reverse props, and it's a blast to watch those guys go at it. I think the Clemens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Austin
Byron
and
Bowman's
Jerry.
down. Looked like an improvement. Yeah, I think if you want to know how much those reverse props are, just take a look at my I'll give you my salary for 1 year, and then there's your reversible prop. Pretty
Wow.
Aviation World is not cheap. That's why we sim, huh?
Yeah, it saves money, that's for sure.
That's why I
Not
have a
only
little
on
putt-putt
gas, but
plane.
on those reverse props
you
too.
gotta
I mean,
have a
that's
putt-putt plane.
Yeah.
LBR coming in. Oh, looking like it's going to be a scratch. Wait for the official call, but that was
came in with a lot of energy
like
as well. So I think a little more controlled, a little slower. That's one of the big things about when you're coming in. You know, you've got to really, really pay attention when you're turning final, and just get slowed down. You know, as much as you can. But nonetheless, LBR. I mean, still fantastic score in first place so far.
yeah. We got
So I can't complain too
back
much.
here on final, giving up a little bit over the line. He's going to try to get that thing stopped before the halfway, just over the main logo there. Got a 266-foot landing, I believe, round one.
So both of Kat's scores on her
341
second
on that.
run, quite a bit more than her first run. So I'm not sure if she had a gust of wind or what, you know, during that first one, or just maybe was a little more on the controls. But Kat, first run looking the best out of hers so far.
Jesse Dobbins coming down with a nice, stable approach in that Husky. 399-foot landing round one. Let's see if he can improve. And he is right on the line. Beautiful.
Nice.
Just before that halfway mark. I think that's going to be a decent improvement on his score there.
Quite a bit. I mean, 399 for the first one. As long as it wasn't a scratch,
Yeah,
we'll have to
touch.
see.
No, touchdown 4 feet over the line. He got it in 269. A nice improvement from round one. And he is honing
Shaving off
it
130.
in here. Yeah, honing it in here. Looking for maybe a winner here in round three for Jesse. Byron Bowman lining up on the line in that 170B. Currently in second place with a total of 469. These 170Bs are battling it out right now. Number 1 and 2 spot, both 170Bs. LBR with the 425, Byron with 469, and he's just waiting on that green flag.
Super close between LBR and Byron. Not too many feet separating those guys, 44 feet to be exact. And that could all be on one landing or one takeoff, or maybe split it between both. But still, you don't know who is going to take it the first place. Could be Cat, could be Jesse too. But currently, LBR and Byron are battling it out. Cat's close behind.
That looked like a very good takeoff. And that is Byron Bowman hunting for that number 1 spot. Everything's on the table, round 3.
LBR Gaming on the line. Currently your first
nice livery
place.
too from LBR. I like that orange and blue. I think it's I can't remember what the official name of it. It's like a gas station or whatever back in the day, right?
Gulf.
I believe so. I think it's
what
a
Chad
race
said
car as well.
last
Yeah.
time.
Right there
Yeah,
with Byron on that takeoff. They're clocking Byron at, well, I have 2 of them here, potentially 232. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's going to be 232.
You can tell that wind is dead out there because those takeoff rolls are pretty long for what we've seen in the past.
You know, the crazy thing is, you know, you watch a lot of STOL and you go, wow, he took off in 400 foot. That was, you know, that's long. In the grand scheme of things, 400 foot is extremely short. I mean, that is, you'll never see a plane besides a STOL plane take off. 400 foot's crazy short, you know. If you think about a GA airport, you got those 1,000-foot markers. Imagine taking off halfway from those 1,000-foot markers. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Coming close back down to the runway, but keeping it up off the runway. Cat playing with fire as per usual.
Fire in one hand, cat food in the other hand.
That's right. Sprinkling it along the runway so she doesn't get lost on her way back around. Looks like Byron Bowman's third takeoff was 281, officially on the score sheet now, and so he beat his second takeoff by 10, so he's making progress there to close the gap between him and LBR Gaming. So if Byron has a good landing, he could take the first place spot. He needs to have a good landing of about 34 feet. Well, 34 feet.
Jesse got out there. Jesse got out there in about 274. Here comes Byron trying to close that gap. You saw that suspension bounce just a little bit. Didn't seem to affect him too much. That was a beautiful landing from Byron. Even if he doesn't close that gap much, that was textbooked.
Yeah, his shortest landing so far for the day, 171.
171. Wow. The pressure is on. I hope the competitors aren't listening to this because, I'll just hush because I don't want to put no more pressure on you.
And LBR
nice and stable
on approach. Yeah. Flaps out. Good descent rate. Nice over the line. Gonna give up. Yeah, I don't know.
Giving it
plane
up
and a half,
little.
maybe. Plane length and a half, maybe.
That could be the difference.
Well, I will say that LBR's first run at 425 holds up for now. We still have 2 more people to come in, but holds up against Byron's last run of 452. So Byron coming close, about 27
feet off. He gave up 103
off.
There. 103 over the line, 282 final touch or stopping point. So he gave up about, I'm not good at math, but 170 some odd feet. Oh, no.
The wind dropping right out from underneath Cat's wings.
Might have just exceeded that critical angle of attack.
Yeah, is that going to be a scratch?
I would believe so.
Black
Ooh,
flag.
might
They
have been
give
a
her the
wing
black
strike as
flag.
well. Yeah, that's a wing strike. Unfortunately for Kat, the
At
So
least
underdog.
her
it was the
previous
last.
scores will count, but for that last round, she's not going to get a score. Be considered a
Whoa, cowboy!
Oh,
we have a nose
no!
Oh
over.
no, he went for the beans there. Hey, you know what
Wow.
though?
I'll
You
tell
gotta
you what.
respect it. He put it all on the table right there. Gotta respect it.
Luckily, it's in the sim, and he doesn't have to go buy a new prop because that would have been that prop would have been cone shaped after that.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's pretty exciting, though. If that stop
We are.
wouldn't have resulted in a nose over like that, that would have been amazing. That nice
Yeah.
high alpha, just like quick stall, like pull the chop the throttle, stall right at the line. That was pretty cool.
I mean, he doesn't
Absolutely.
have a reversible prop, so he's got to do something, and he turns his plane into a parachute at the last second, and trying to get all that weight on the wheels to add some more friction to his landing and stop him quicker. He maybe should have let off the brakes a little bit earlier and resulted
There we
in that
go.
nose over, but
Yeah. LBR Gaming taking the lead there, taking the win. 425. Byron Bowman coming in with a 452. Cat Blue 481, and Jesse Dobbins with a 585 there to finish off our backcountry class.
yeah, Byron almost catching up there. Really bested his score every round, so great to see the progression out of Byron's rounds. LBR Gaming, the exact opposite. He had a great first round, and not to say that his second two rounds were bad, but they weren't as good as the first one. But who cares? The first one was enough to win it.
That's
So
right.
great job to all the pilots, though.
Going into the unlimited class here, we've got 121 of Sub B in the Savage Gravel, number 16 James Beatty in the Monster NX Cub, 72 of Wes Campbell Kit Fox SS Competition, and a 28 of MP Troll in the Zlin Savage Cub. And things are just warming up here at the Oregon Trail eSTOL, looking for the unlimited class next.
We do have two heats, so this is gonna two races, two heats in this race. So we do have this group of four, another group of four after that. But I think we will cut to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with some unlimited class action right after this. back with the action of the unlimited class. My favorite class, personally. It's a toss-up, really. It's tough for me between the touring class because of the Wilga. I love radials, but the unlimited class just has that little extra edge that I crave for. You know, like things like nitrous and a lot of horsepower. So
Yeah.
the unlimited class got to be my favorite.
You know, we get
Shout
to
out.
watch these and we get to enjoy the competitions, yes, but we have to give a massive shout out to 80K for putting everything together, organizing. A lot of work is done behind the scenes to make this possible. So big shout out to 80K. Cam, what were you going to say about 80K?
Oh no, you got it. Shout out to 80K, but also I want to put a shout out to Subliminal Black, Sub B. He actually came out to Oregon Trail STOL last weekend and shot a bunch of photos. And I didn't get a chance to shout them out during the broadcast last weekend, but this weekend we got him, and he's also competing. So there's that.
Very nice. But yeah, shout out to 80K in the chat. If we could see some love for our boy. Again, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that has to be done to put these on for you guys. So big shout out to the man and Subliminal Black for taking a lot of cool pictures out at the real Oregon STOL.
Yeah, I do gotta say, I gotta hand it to 80K for taking over the entire broadcast. The last 3 broadcasts he's done, and just a phenomenal job going from not doing it at all to doing it one day and doing it all. And so, man, what a wonderful job he's doing, because I tell you what, I couldn't do all that. When Kando says there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, you're talking camera, many different camera views, pilot views. You know, I mean, this thing is massive behind the scenes, and to put it all together like that is got to be one tough job. But hey, it doesn't seem tough to 80K because he makes it look so damn easy.
And
That's right.
he was out there sweating it, just like how we were all. Well, I was in the booth with Ryan, but he was outside sweating it during the broadcast last weekend too, as one of the camera operators. And I mean, like, he was out there working. So, and
You're telling me you don't have
whenever
AC in that thing?
we do have
Hey,
AC in the thing.
That's me and Kando
but
right
he-
there. Look at that.
But 80K was out there with one of the cameras just getting blasted by sand and in the heat, because it was 99 degrees on Saturday.
Wow. Yeah, that's hot. And there we
I'll
go.
tell you what
We
else
got
is
me
hot.
and Burskis.
Right there.
Yeah, dude, there it is. Golly, get a load of that, man.
That's cool as heck, man. I never thought I'd be in
That's
a video
awesome.
game, but here we are in 2025.
That's right. I was in a movie once, Joe Dirt, if you've ever seen it. One of my best films I've ever done.
Joe Dirte.
That's right.
That is a classic movie.
All right, we're getting
I wanted
lined
to
up
say
here.
too, Subliminal
Unlimiteds.
Black's livery. What about that livery from Subliminal Black? That Argyle. I never thought that I'd like Argyle, but put it on a plane. I like the Savage Gravel, and I guess I'm a fan because that is
Yeah.
looking great. Previous plane. Then we have James Beatty flying that NX Cup. Gorgeous looking NX Cup. I think it is a stock livery, but gorgeous nonetheless.
That's right. That's another plane you definitely don't want to look at the price tag on.
No.
Sadly disappointed.
And one of my favorite things when we have the pilot perspective, we get to see what these guys are doing, how they're flying in their own home setups. Wes Campbell flying that Rockstar Taco Delight.
Shout out to Taco Delight, man. I don't know the backstory on it, but that logo is something else.
Well, it's a real place. We had to look it up on stream when we first heard of it, but it's a real place. I think it's in Texas. And I'm not sure if Wes owns it or if he just really loves it, but either way, Taco Delight is somewhere I got to get to. I need me some
That's right.
tacos. Flying the beautiful Kit Fox from Parallel 42. One of my favorite planes and really appreciate all the work that they've done on that plane to promote it for eSTOL, make it a little lighter, take that engine cowling off, take the doors off. We don't need doors, just added
That's
weight.
right. A door.
And Patrol in the Zlin Savage. Love it. I believe that thing is rocking the 912. Is it the UL in that thing? Might be the UL or the IS. I'm not 100% sure. The ULS. Rocking the old Zlin Savage Xbox livery. Gotta love it. You know, this
and
is
I think
the competition on Xbox and PC. So you don't have to have a PC to compete. I believe MP Troll is an Xbox pilot. And he is rocking it loud and proud out here at Oregon STOL.
Yeah, really cool to see that because he's flying. It's the only stock aircraft in this heat here, and you'll be surprised to see what he can do in that aircraft. I was surprised to see what he could do in it. And he's not from South Africa, like I said a couple weeks ago. He is from Australia. So good to see
Nice.
MP Troll flying that Xbox livery, going as stock as possible with the old Xbox livery. Hey, we got to give that man a round of applause because he's going to town. He's all stock today.
We got Subliminal Black lined up, waiting on that green flag and his Savage Gravel. Rocking that 121. There is the green, and we'll see what he has here.
Well, I know one thing he has, along with the plane behind him, nitrous. Folks, if you wanted to see some high power, high horsepower, and high thrust flap slap in action, you'll see it here with the Savage Gravel made by Got Friends and the NX Cub behind him.
He stands that tail up and gets it ripped off the ground.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little early rotation there. Not really sure.
Yeah, it happens so
Don't need-
fast.
You don't
It
need
did,
a
it
lot of wind when
happens.
you have... Oh, go ahead,
He
Kendall,
must
my
have had
bad.
that NOS keyed up, man. He must have had that NOS keyed up, dude.
He did. He had to. With 2 knots of wind.
Yeah, that thing is a monster. We got James Beatty lined up in the NX Cub, and he is going to get that tail nice and low here on that takeoff. Beautiful, beautiful takeoff there.
Gorgeous.
We had Subliminal Black blocked at a 33-foot takeoff in that Savage Gravel. And that is
love
just
it.
the drastic difference here in these classes, man. We went from 250 to 270. Now we're looking at 33-foot takeoffs, and these planes are just built for STOL competitions.
If there is anything that makes me want to fly in the sim, as I've taken a break the last few months, if there's anything that makes me want to fly, it's the last 3 takeoffs right there. Look at that perspective. I mean, just amazing. And that's a simulator, but man, you really do feel it when you're flying these planes coming off the ground in 33 feet. You need 100 times that to take off mini planes, but not these planes.
In
At
control, standing in
915. Yep, standing it up. He's going to get aggressive with it. A lot less power, but hey, it is a light aircraft. He doesn't even need it. Beautiful takeoff there from MP Troll. Still waiting on some results here from our other takeoffs. Let's see what we have. Wes Campbell getting out in 81 feet. I believe that was our yellow Rockstar Hit Fox there. 915 IS. Putting the power down 81 feet. MP Troll got off there in the Zlin Savage, rocking the Xbox livery, of course. Got to show some love to the Xbox boys. What would the sim be without them? And we are waiting on that
No,
score
that's true.
there.
That was a big point of contention at the beginning of eSTOL. We had so many people asking us, when can you get it on Xbox? And I mean, everybody was super, positive about it. Nobody was mad, but, we had to let them know there's nothing we can do about it. But with a lot of help from Got Friends and several other people and a lot of work from the eSTOL team, we finally are able to get everything onto Xbox. So if you're on Xbox and you want to compete, or maybe you just want to check out the airports, you can get them on the 2024 or 2020 Microsoft Flight Sim stores. And can't believe we did it. But this time last year, we had our
Ooh.
first Xbox enjoy the competition with us.
Beautiful landing there. Maybe a little bouncy from Subliminal Black. He really dropped that power, dropped it in, kept the flaps in just over the line. He did not give up much room at all on that landing there. Subliminal Black in the gravel.
So those of you in chat, what's the one thing, if you fly the Savage Gravel, you'll know the answer to this, but a little trivia for today as we see it go around. Beautiful looking plane as he flies by. A little trivia for the chat, though. What's the one thing you don't want to leave on when you land the Savage Gravel? Pretty easy question if you've flown it, but you never know. Some people might not know.
I'm going to take a guess here. It's either the NOS or the parking brake.
I was thinking NOS, but another great point, Kando. Parking brake, yeah, you don't want to leave that on either, unless you want to be purchasing a new one.
Subliminal Black came in at 142 there on that landing. Numbers on the board. He can definitely cut that down just a little bit. We've got that Kit Fox, Rockstar Kit Fox coming in here, looking to get some numbers on the board in round 1. And he is going to be just over the line, dragging that tail wheel in. Oh, no, we have some rotation.
Ooh. A little directional control issue.
Tail wheel touchdown first, but that is
warning.
okay. Tail wheels can touch down first in a tail dragger.
Little warning.
Correct.
You know they're pushing it hard when they got the tail wheel coming down first, and it's actually tough to do. You can even practice that, and it's not something that you can just do right off the bat. I mean, it's pretty tough to be able to get it to fly and not fall to the ground before you want it to when you're trying to get that tail wheel down.
Yeah, that Kit Fox has got an insane critical angle of attack. You can really drag it in, and it does not care. Here we go. We've got MP Troll coming in the Savage Gravel, or sorry, the Savage, Lynn Savage, getting it stopped. Just a little long, but not bad.
One of the things you'll see with MP Troll in that stock Lynn Savage is on a day where he has a little more wind, you see just outrageous numbers. And if anybody is a fan of eSTOL, you've been watching for a long time, you'll probably remember back to last year's competition where we had the Spec plane was that specific plane there, this Lynn Savage, and they were having a hard time keeping it on the ground just taxiing because the wind was 18 gusting 30. And so that plane really has a big leg up when there's a lot of wind. But today, you don't have a lot of wind. So if you're MP Troll, you're going to really love those windy days. But not so much on the low wind days like today. But he's still having a great time, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the numbers there for MP Troll. Wes Campbell did get a warning. If you don't know the rules, you're supposed to keep that directional control of the aircraft. He did get a good bit sideways there, so just a little warning. Just trying to keep everything safe. And here we got James Beatty in the NX Cub. 2 go-arounds from him, but he's coming in to put numbers on the board, and that was
gorgeous.
A nice landing.
Hanging it off the prop. Came in with a little too much energy. In my opinion, it could have came in with a little less energy, but nonetheless, I mean, just the form that he had coming in, I mean, just hanging it off the prop, effectively turning those wings into a parachute. So, Kando, do you know of any bush flights going on after the eSTOL competition tonight? Perhaps maybe you are flying around.
Oh, brother, do I. Oh, do I, man. Yeah, we'll be out there. I'm thinking we might just, we're going to jump in 24. We might take out of here, Ontario, and just kind of hop around the area. But yeah, we'll be live over on Twitch at Who Can Do. And we're going to have some fun. Come on out. I don't know what we're flying yet, but we're just going to do some hill hopping, maybe head up to the river here and have some fun. We'd love to have you. To be waiting on the green flag here. Currently in first place with 175. This is where things get spicy. Sub B with 175. Wes Campbell with a score of 176. 1 foot is the difference between these two pilots. And it's going to be, that's round 1, man. We haven't even seen round 2, round 3. So Sub B is here to show up, show out, and we're looking at what he's got right now. You can hear him powering up. That tail wheel is going to come up floating. His big Alaskan 35-inch bush wheels, and he is off with unbelievable. I think that's going to be better than his first. I'm not sure.
That's a massive, massive win if he can beat that 33-foot from his first takeoff. Not quite. It's actually a little bit longer. About 14 foot longer at 47.
47. And unfortunately, we don't have any wind. Normally, you would kind of see them turning into the wind to try to get a more direct headwind, but no wind out here. Everybody's just lined up straight and center and giving it their all here. That NX Cub getting that tail nice and low. That's a good one. He had 122 on his first takeoff, looking to beat that. We'll have the results in here in just a second for Mr. James Beatty and the NX Cub, Monster NX Cub from Got Friends.
It's like a 139 for James Beatty, a little bit longer than his first takeoff, but still a great takeoff. Yeah, this is definitely getting me hyped up. I'll be at the after party at Cando's.
Oh,
Ooh.
No.
A little sideways with Wes Campbell.
He might be feeling the pressure. I don't know. What do you think, Cam?
Yeah, it might be the yips involved for sure.
I'm going to review it. Well, the plane is so light. There's a lot of thrust and a lot of centrifugal motion coming off of that prop. So, I mean, you're going to, when you fly that plane, specifically the competition variant of the Kit Fox, it does tend to turn a little bit. So you've got to really control it and counteract
beautiful
that.
Beautiful takeoff from MP Troll.
Yeah, great looking takeoff. I just love that he's in the Xbox livery. If you're a simmer, you kind of it's almost a troll coming out of MP Troll, because a lot of people think like, oh, why do they always add the Xbox liveries to the planes? And so a lot of us don't fly those liveries, but to see Troll flying that is really freaking funny, and I love it.
Representing. Wes Campbell came out of there with a 121, really not what he was looking for, but he's got another round to make it up there. Oh, you know what? I bet, are we not getting MP Troll's numbers due to the Xbox? I'm sure that's why.
Yeah, it's possible he doesn't. They have to manually score his because he doesn't have the computer program. So yeah, that's what's going on with it.
Gotcha. Subliminal Black coming in, nice high angle of attack, hanging it off the prop. See if he can just scratch. Oh, right over the line. That was impressive. Ooh. Keep control of it. Good job, Subliminal Black. That was impressive. Gave up no room there over the line.
Yeah, and that'll be the shortest landing today.
A little bit over.
Second shortest landing. But
Ryan to hold on to that number 1. Yeah. Seven feet over, 113 total.
Yeah, those are great.
That's
margins.
pushing it. James Beatty coming down the line, NX Cub, hoping to improve a little bit.
A little bit of throttle modulation.
Ooh. Okay.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know how much he gave up.
I would say he definitely improved from his first landing, which was 156. So he's coming in at 132 for James Beatty on his landing number 2. So takeoff on the second run was a little bit longer, the landing a little bit shorter, kind of just bobbled those around a bit. But I think overall his second takeoff and landing will best his first score.
Wes coming in, trying to improve. Oh, no. I am not sure what they're going to call that. I think it was a scratch.
I think it was. Yep, they called it.
They're going to call it a scratch there.
Oh.
But what a landing that would have been if he could have held it up just a little bit longer. You know, the problem with
He's
it is
still-
though, is when you're coming in that close and you add a little bit of throttle, you're usually careful of how much throttle you add, because if you add too much, then you're just going to add on to your landing roll. And so it's minor adjustments that can make those differences, and sometimes you just miss out by a little bit, but that's all right. Great pilot out of Wes Campbell. Been flying with us for a long time here at eSTOL.
Absolutely. 239 was his first landing, looking to shave some room off of that. Nice and stable, just over the line. Wow, that might do something for him. Unreal.
Hell of a landing.
Are they going to give it to him?
Is that sub 80?
That was impressive, showing everybody what he's got out here.
And that's what happens when you. That's what happens when you pay attention to that energy that you got coming in after you turn final. I mean, he really focused in, got to his 500 feet, and just saw that line and just hit it, stopped it beautifully.
As we go into round 3 here, the Subliminal Black has 160. That is his shortest. Wes Campbell, 176, 16 feet between the two. This is the last round. I love eSTOL. Me too, man. Hey, shout out, dude.
And if you didn't know, that's Anov, our wonderful scenery creator from Switzerland, living up in those beautiful mountains.
Wow. Subliminal Black putting it down. What a, I don't know what they're going to call that one. Let's see. That was short. He is
that was
trying
so dang
his best
good.
to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, I can smell the avgas and nitrous. That's how good that takeoff was. I can smell it here as I sit in my room.
46 feet from Subliminal Black. I don't think that's his shortest.
Just shy. 33 was his shortest.
James Beattie getting off the ground quick. The NX Cup there. 139 his last one. 122 is his shortest.
Beautiful camera views coming from our camera sim pilots, our drone pilots that are in the simulator. Big shout out to those guys. They really put on a heck of a show for us, and if it wasn't for the people doing the drone cameras, we wouldn't be able to do such a wonderful broadcast. So thank you to the camera guys.
Wes Campbell getting up nice and short. He is currently in second place with a 16-foot gap between him and the leader. Round 3, the pressure's on. Here is a live look at Wes right in the sim cockpit. Representing Taco Dwight. He's ready to go get some tacos, man. He's like, hey, let me win this thing and get out of here. I got tacos to eat.
He's not
got
messing around.
tacos
He's
to
not messing
eat.
around.
Yeah, man. MP Troll looking to improve here. Beautiful takeoff.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's MP Troll's shortest takeoff.
I think it was a little longer, actually. To me, it looked like about 140-ish, just a guess. 129.
130 on that takeoff.
What'd they clock him at? 129?
129.
Not bad.
Yeah.
A little longer,
Oh,
but
right
not
close.
bad. Yeah, MP Troll's shortest takeoff was 110.
Shortest takeoff of the day, though, Subliminal Black at that 33 feet, which I don't know who's going to beat that. Doesn't seem like he's even able to beat it.
But he's got a lot of room he can shave off on this landing to extend that lead just a little bit. He's been averaging right around that 120-ish average. If he can get this thing in under 100, that's going to be a deal right there. Giving up
right,
a little
better
bit,
drop
get
the
that
throttle.
thing stopped. I believe
Sub
that's
100
marker. That's what he needed.
Kando summoning up his crystal ball to guess that sub 100 foot takeoff. I think he was right.
He hit it right on the head here. We've got James Beattie in the NX Cup coming in. currently in 4th place with 271. But he's got some room that he can get out here. Coming in low. Woo! I don't know about that. That might be a scratch.
I love the way he was coming in, though, that high angle of attack. I mean, he's really got skill there. Even with the scratch,
up over here, man. They're gonna get me fired up.
I know. I'm hopping in the sim after for sure.
Dude, I'm fired up right now. These guys were putting on a show. We've got Wes Campbell coming in. Had a DQ his last round, but he's currently sitting with his shortest takeoff in round 3. If he can show up here, he might be giving Subliminal Black a run for his money. Let's see what we have. It's all or nothing for Wes Campbell at Oregon. Trail, STOL, let's see it. Dropping it in. He's got to get that. Whoa, I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
If he gets a warning, that would be his second warning. I'm not sure.
It's
Issued
a warning. So is that going to count?
Second warning, so I'm not sure if that is going to add up or if it's not an egregious enough foul to count as a scratch. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what the scoreboard says, but it's a great landing.
That might be a lead breaker there. That might be a lead change. Well, no, can't be because Sub B had that 33. We've got MP Troll coming in, his longest takeoff right now, but we can cut down. He had a great landing last run. Coming in right over that 100. That might be like 110 potentially. I don't know. This might be a little too close to call right now. I don't think Wes Campbell's going to take it, but he really, really gave it his all there. Great performance from everybody in the first round of our unlimited class. We do have two rounds here of the classes, 4 and 4. So here we go. Sub B taking the win there with 145. Wes Campbell coming in second in that Kit Fox, 176. MP Troll at 191, great performance, and James Beatty at 271 in that NX Cub. Really good job from our first round of unlimited class. Second round will be coming up here next.
Yeah, that's going to be some tough scores to beat right there. Cedric, North Cali, Sarah, and Moby have some work to do ahead of them. So race number 39, Cedric P in the Kit Fox Super Sport Comp, flying from Lübeck, Germany. Race number 22, NorCali J, Kit Fox Super Sport Comp in the flying from Eureka, California. Race number 111, Sarah Eggleton in the Kit Fox Super Sport Comp from Wigan, UK. And number 197, Moby Wong, the only one flying something other than the Kit Fox in this group, the Savage Gravel from San Jose, California.
I think we're going to see
these four.
I think we're going to see some tight competition here with these three Kit Fox. Yeah, I hope they studied the film from Mr. Wes Campbell there and the other Kit Fox, because they've got some ground to make up here. But that's kind of the good thing about going in that second class is you get to kind of watch, see what you're going up against, and kind of make a game plan in your head about what you got to do to win this thing.
Yeah, and I think the Kit Fox can definitely. The Kit Fox has the capability to beat that 145 that we saw as the top score from our first heat. And then also, that was done by a Savage Gravel. And what do we have as the odd man out from this heat? The Savage Gravel.
Savage Gravel. It might be a big upset
all around.
Here.
I mean, you never know. I think it's going to come down to pilot skill because these planes are just too dang good. I mean, it's really going to come up to who can keep the sweat off their brow for the longest during this heat.
That's exactly right. And here we've got coming down the line in the Kit Fox, 1 of 3 here. Cedric P coming down the line in his Kit Fox SS competition. Sweet little livery there. I'm digging the green, kind of a Mountain Dew vibe here. I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, very nice. The Brondo, got that. The Brondo, I love his
Thirst
plane. It's kind of based
simulator.
around.
Wait.
It's kind of based around
Thirst
that movie.
Mutilator. Is that what's that movie, man? I know
I
exactly.
never
what you're
remember it, Kando. What is it called, man? Cam, you always
you're
remember it. What is that?
Or hypocrisy, or what? Wait,
Yeah. I think that is it.
hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's it. NorCali coming down, representing, and this is a NorCali classic livery. Every plane he's flown has this same kind of theme, and I just dig it. Look at that shiny little cowling there. He's got his stickers on of all the competitions. NorCali's a veteran here, rocking the 915 IS in that Kit Fox. Looking to put down some good numbers today. I just love the Kit Fox. Such a great little bird, great platform, and a fun one too. Parallel 42 really knocked it out of the park.
That livery's got some great history to it. It was actually christened at Kando's Arkansas stream, so a lot of you guys that are out there in the chat probably remember that and maybe even participated in it. But going way back, that's the livery that was first flown at that competition.
That's right. That was a great time out there at the virtual Arkansas competition I put on. Well, rowdy
Actually,
livery
that movie
here,
was
Sarah.
Idiocracy. That was the name.
Idiocracy. That's it. That's it. Fly high or die. We've got a lot of great sayings here. Sarah Sazzle in the Kit Fox competition there. Oh, we've got the 915 IS with some pink covers on it. Nice little touch there. If you can read this, duck. Hey, come on, Sarah.
Talking directly to the line judges.
I hope that's not foreshadowing now.
So if you have never been out to one of the real life STOL competitions, I would say definitely get out there, whether you want to view it. I mean, it's a regular old air show. They have, have them all over the country. So nationalstol.com, you can check out their real life competition calendar. Still got a lot more to go this year as the eSTOL competitions follow their real life competition. So check it out, nationalstol.com. Get out to a real life competition, and maybe you can be a line judge. I know the first one I went out to, I did a little volunteering, was a line judge, and that's one heck of a thing when you got planes coming in at you and you're, or not a line judge, I did camera, but either way, great time.
Yeah.
But we don't want to skip Moby Wong's
monster energy. Yeah, and he's excited. He was wagging those rudders. He's ready to go, man. He's fired up, and we've got some great competition here coming along. We are live at the Oregon Trail STOL, second round of our unlimited class here. Sub B took the win in the first round, but obviously these guys are going to get a chance to up it there. So we're going to see what we got here. Cedric P is lined up, and he will be waiting on that green flag.
We have the green flag, so Cedric is going to see what he can do. So really, to be
Flapperon's going to do for us.
To be competitive here, I mean, realistically, he needs to be anywhere between 30 and 50 feet on his takeoff, and seemingly a little further than that. I mean, about 100 foot on the takeoff, give or take a few. So
yeah,
he'll get some numbers on the board though, as long as his landing is good.
That's right. NorCali lined up here. Same aircraft, that Kit Fox. Like Cam said, see what these flapperons can do for us. Not a lot of depth to these things, but they are the full length of the wings, so kind of makes up for it there. Interesting build here on the Kit Fox with those massive flapperons, and he's going to be getting out of here very short, just before that 100-foot mark. Competition is steep, but round one, you just need the numbers to get on the board so we can push it 2 and 3. Sarah's lined up, waiting on that green flag. Everybody else is up in the pattern.
So we know from Wes Campbell's round, he was the only kit box in the previous heat, and he had his best takeoffs were around 80 feet. So we know that 80 feet is achievable on a day like today.
Callie came in there at a 73. Cedric P putting down at 81. So they're right in that range. Sarah Eggleton getting off nice and fast. We'll see what they clock that takeoff at. And then we've got the man in the Savage Gravel, Moby Wong. Monster Energy represent. And he's hoping to put down a good first round run here. Getting off nice and early.
Ooh,
Monster
good.
takeoff.
Okay.
Hey, I see what you did there. Monster Energy, monster takeoff.
7 feet.
You're dang
That's
right.
a performer. That's a performer right there. Dazzle came in at 78 feet on her takeoff. So everyone is right in there. Mulby coming in with that 57. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one to beat, especially with no wind. You're really just relying on the performance of the plane and in the pilot. You know, you're not getting any help from any outside factors. So everybody's just got to get out here and do their job and put the numbers on the board.
Cedric P. Good over the line.
Cedric.
Probably gave up a little bit.
Yeah, gave up a little bit there, kind of rolling it out. But again,
Like he
I
held
think he's
on to
kinda
some
playing it
lift.
safe here. I think he's playing it safe. Not a bad method.
No, and as Kando pointed out earlier, here we are, you know, picking at straws here, or whatever you want to say, but over 100 feet land, 100 foot or 150 foot landing or so, but that's still so dang short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
incredible.
look
If you
at
walk
the-
out 100 feet, it's nothing, man.
No,
Norcali's dragging it in, dropping it down, getting
Ooh.
aggressive on those brakes. Very
Look
nice
at that.
landing.
And
I
you
think
love
that's
to
going to
see
be
it.
around the 90-foot mark. Cedric P came in at 258 for his landing. We'll see what Norcali put down there. I'm going to say it's right around that 70-ish foot, 92. Nope, my bad. Hold on. Yeah, 92 feet there from Norcali. So just a little bit longer than his takeoff. But he's got good numbers on the board in round one, and now we can start pushing the limits there. Sarah coming in, a.k.a. Stezzle, and her nice fly high or die kit fox, dragging it in over the line. Looking
Shot the
good.
throttle.
Right there. Everyone's flirting with that 100-foot marker.
Yeah. As she taxis off the runway. Moby Wong putting the clinic in slow flight on approach.
Absolutely. You can see that nose coming up and that power being increased. Really dragging it in here. Beautiful. Just over that line, gave up maybe 10 feet. Oh, but he can't keep it under wraps, and he's gonna go out just a little long there.
a little bit of lift. I'm wondering where this lift is coming from because there's no wind.
He might have second guessed himself and just added a little blip of power there.
True. That's probably exactly what happened.
163 on that touchdown, but again, you know, I've been saying it so much, you guys are probably tired. He's got numbers on the board, and that's important. That's important. We don't want to
Yeah,
be
it is
waiting until
really
round one to
important.
get our first numbers in.
Yeah, Kando, because at the end of the day, it's all about the points at the end of the season. These guys rack up points from every competition throughout the season. So if you get points on the board the first round, then you're guaranteed not to scratch out, guaranteed not to foul out.
Right.
And so if you have a couple people scratch out, you might end up eking out a fifth place, even with a long landing. So I mean, it's super important to take that first round and just get points on the board.
Yeah. It's just a little safety barrier, but we've seen it before. It's, you cannot have that safety barrier and really lock in and show up round 3 and do something, you know, and make something out of it. So it's just about, you know, the pilot really focusing and understanding what they have to do if you do come into round 2 or 3 with no points on the board. And it can be done. I mean, we saw it. What was that? The backcountry class, we saw it happen. So,
yep.
Or no, that was the touring class. Sorry, with Tim's Primetime.
Yeah, and the Intimidator livery.
Yeah, 83 feet there from Cedric. Norcali's off the ground.
It's 79 feet for Norcali.
Yeah, Norcali, one of our
73.
Yeah,
one of our
73
eSTOL
feet on
ambassadors. Great dude. You can also find him if you're looking for a place to fly. Find Norcali on Twitch. Great person to go check out some bush flights with. A little bit wonky on the takeoff there. It looks like the left wing wanted to drop quite a bit. I don't think it's scratched. I think it probably was controlled enough that may, if anything, result in a warning, but should be a solid takeoff. They are going to review it.
We can see on our left side there the total standings for our unlimited class. Sub B still in a safe lead there. Norcali is at in this round the next closest, 165. But Mulby Wong with that great takeoff, he might be coming up to the top of that list very soon. That was very short, 57 feet on his first round. And we'll see what we have here from Mulby in round number 2.
Yeah, when you look at, Sub B's best takeoff, it was 33 feet. Mulby Wong just taken off in 41. I mean, so you're talking 8 feet difference. All he has to do is land less than 130. Yeah, I mean, if he lands in 132, he wins. Or at least he beats the first place score for now, because there's still one more round after this.
Right.
But, I mean, he's really wanting to look for that 132. So, chat, what you guys will be watching for when Mulby lands, you want to make sure that he can stop it just around or just after that first red mark, because that's going to be your 100-foot mark.
Cedric coming in just a little long. He's real nice, though. He's safe. He's really not pushing it. Not actually sure how long Cedric's been doing it. He's getting great numbers on the board, though. Again, 150 or a little longer on his rollouts there. He gave up 47 foot on the line there, 215 total for that landing. Norcali's dragging it in. Best score of the day is 165. He got a little bit longer on his takeoff here, but he's looking for a very short landing, and that could make or break it. Norcali.
Oh no, scratching
in round 2. The pressure is on.
Yeah.
You will have that. Yeah, I do got to say, Cedric P. I don't know exactly what Cedric has done behind the scenes, but I know he has done some pretty integral stuff behind the scenes for us, as far as like programs that help us track all these numbers that we need to track. So, big shout out to Cedric for doing that work behind the scenes and making it easier for everybody involved with eSTOL.
Absolutely.
I could be wrong about this, but I think he is the guy that made the program that takes our landing distances for us, which is so nice, because back in the day we used to have Anov put his glasses on and stare at the monitor very closely and turn his grass off in the sim so we could see. But
they're
gorgeous.
Coming in just over the line, right sub 100 there. Fantastic performance from.
It's a beautiful short landing.
Yeah, no big bounce, just drug it right in, right where she needed it.
Mulby, this is a big round for Mulby. He needs to stop before or right around that 100-foot line.
Oh,
that is that is
a little bit long.
Ah, no. Yeah, 165, 170-ish. So
Yeah.
he gave up, he gave up quite a bit of that on the beginning, as far as I could see. And so, if he hits closer to the line, maybe he takes that first place spot right there. He still has a chance, though, because we have another round, but it makes it a little harder on him because now he's got to have a better takeoff, or at least, close to what he had before. But that's what these guys do. They practice week in and week out for this. So I'm not counting anybody out just yet, but would have been nice to see Moby take that first place spot right there. But I think we'll see what happens.
Yep. We've got a super tight competition right now between North Cali and Sarah. North Cali coming in best as 165. Sarah is at that 169, only 4 feet behind him. So not only is North Cali trying to worry about maybe getting to the top of that leaderboard, but he's got somebody right on his tail chasing him too. This is going to be a tight little competition here, getting near the end of it.
Yeah, and all these guys and girls are so good that it's like the smallest little thing, the smallest little pilot error could cause you to lose 10 feet. And that, as we see, with a 4-foot space between these guys, 10 feet would lose you the round. So it's very important that they lock in, load up, stay focused.
That's right. Pop, lock, and drop it, man. That's what these guys got to do here on the line. We got to get some short landings in here. Cedric coming out with a 92-foot takeoff. 92 foot.
Yeah, fantastic numbers from Cedric.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, what's the word I'm looking for here? English, Kando. Very consistent in his performance as well. Really don't see a lot of variations. He's just super consistent. And I don't know if we have the consistent award for these, but he's right there on it.
I think there is an award at the end of the year for consistency. But it is like when you see these, so they get extra points at the end of the event.
There you go.
Boom.
They were getting off there. Looked nice and short. Round 2, she had 71-foot takeoff, 98-foot landing, and that's consistent too. 2 98-foot landings in a row from Sarah. Let's see what this round 3 takeoff is. It's going to be 70 feet. That is very consistent as well. 70 feet takeoff from Sazzle.
All right, Chad. While this gravel goes up, I want to ask you guys to be honest with me.
North Valley had the exact same takeoff as well, 70 feet.
Oh, wow. Tied right up. So, chat, I want you guys to be honest with me. Who in the chat has left on the nitrous by accident when they've landed out in the bush in the Savage Gravel? Come on. I cannot be the only one who's done that.
I one up you. How about who has never used the nitrous at all? And that's me. I'm a fan of natural. I want just the natural power, baby. I'm not taking any advantages here. I'm just raw.
I admire that about you, Kando. I definitely do. He's more of a carbon guy.
I am more of a carbon guy, by the way. Yeah, that's true. Cedric coming in. Again, he has been consistent this entire competition.
Really slow, controlled flight over the ground.
There
Barely
it is.
That
is nice. Get it stopped.
Man, that was great, but yeah, he's having trouble getting it stopped, and it almost seems as if he's not pulling back on the stick when he's landing. I didn't catch the flaps. I don't know if he put the flaps up. But it seems as if, maybe he's not pulling back, but you need to be pulling back on the stick when you land. In a tail dragger.
Wow, NorCali.
Wow.
Now that's some money right there. Oh,
unbelievable.
I don't know the exact numbers on that, but 5 feet over the line there from NorCali and stopping it in an unbelievably short landing.
So he gives up 5 feet and still gets it stopped in 50. That is
Impressive.
almost pinpoint accuracy.
45 foot from the time he stopped down or touched down. That's impressive, man. Coming into round 3, that is the type of landing you really want to see.
And all with no wind, too. I mean, when you're talking no wind, that's almost unheard of. But, hey, what do you expect out of a guy like Norcali?
Basil coming in just over the line.
Oh, great stop from her. If she wouldn't have given up the beginning, a little bit in the beginning.
Feet. Look at that consistency in her scores. 78, 98, 71, 98, and 70, 100. I mean, that's dead on the money almost every round for consistency.
Yeah.
No way. We have a leader change. Current leader change.
I mean, with a landing like that.
Total of
Holy
120.
moly.
Wow. Yeah, you guys better get fired up out here. This is a competition, baby. Unbelievable. Round 3 save. Moby Wong coming in. Looks similar to his other landings. Got a little bit sideways on the runway there.
Yeah, and Moby gave up a little bit too on this one. And so, you know, Moby's right there. I mean, he really had a chance to take over that first place spot, but instead, out of nowhere, Norcali comes in and lands in 50 feet and takes away that first place from sub B.
That's it. I think that's going to be the standings right there. Cam, how about that performance from Norcali? 3rd round. Oh, Cam, I think Cam's muted. We lost Cam,
I think
man.
I think we're missing Cam's.
Can you hear me now?
There he is.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I was excited to see Sub B as number 1, and then Norcali just swept it from under him.
Swept it. And that's, again, we say it so much, that 3rd round, it can make or break you, man. I mean, it didn't look like he had it in him, and Norcali came through round 3, put down a total of 120. There's our leaders, or there's our standings right there. Norcali, 120 foot, Sub B 145, Wes Campbell coming in at 154, Sarah Eggleton 169, MP Troll 191, and Mulby Wong in the 213. Unbelievable unlimited class. I mean, that was close as it gets right there.
Yeah, really great job out of everybody. Cedric, I think there's another page. I think we still have two more numbers on there. So,
Okay.
Cedric, a couple things I noticed, guys. If you, I know the pilots watch this back afterwards. So, great job to everybody. And I think we really got to watch Moby Wong in the future. If he focuses in on his landings and just gets that on point, doesn't give up anything, I think he's going to be a monster. No pun intended, as he's flying the monster livery, but I think he will be really big contender here. And Cedric
Absolutely.
P, another one, just a little bit of work on the landings, and I think Cedric P is going to have it in the bag as well. So a lot of great competition out of the unlimited class. As always, it's the most interesting class as far as excitement and speed and short takeoffs and landings go, while the other classes are also amazing for their own right. But I'll tell you what, the unlimited class, just that little bit more exciting for
That's it.
me anyway.
Well, I think we got a quick video to watch, and I think we'll be right back with our spec class after this.
Man, what a great
Man, we are
performance
back.
from that unlimited
Everybody
class.
came in
Kando,
right there, dude.
dude, hey, after the unlimited class, I think we're all just as excited. So what do you expect, right? I mean, we're all going to be definitely excited to get back here. So Kando, Cam, what do you think of the unlimited class? You think you think Norcali came out of nowhere and just, I mean, he came in swinging his hair. I'm going to say I did not see it coming. I mean, he looked great, but I didn't think he looked great enough just to all of a sudden disappear 50 feet out of nowhere.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I
was not
mean,
expecting that.
listen, I know Norcali pretty well. And I'll say this, man,
I know.
Norcali's got that dog in him. I mean, he does. He's got that dog in him. And I think what happened there is, you know, he just relied on his training. I know he works really, really hard for these competitions, and he's been doing it a long time. So I can't say that I am surprised, but it was a surprise to see it happen.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I don't know. He's been doing it a long time. He's got the reps in, and that was an unbelievable performance for Norcali there in the unlimited class.
Yeah, it just goes to show you when you put the time into it, and you know, also he's out here training people as an eSTOL ambassador. He's helping new pilots. So I mean, when you put all that time into it, you have to get the wins. And I'm really happy to see him flying the Kit Fox, because last year he flew a plane that was not as competitive when you put it up against this new Kit Fox and the gravel. So I'm really happy. I know he was talking about it, him hawing, wondering if he should switch it. And I'm just super glad to see him switch to the Kit Fox. Just as you can see, I mean, getting wins out here is what you want to do. So,
yeah, it's also one of those things too, you know, where even though the plane might not be the #1 pick, you know, of a aircraft that can win it, you got to fly what you enjoy. And even though these gravels are out here putting down crazy numbers, that just goes to show you that the Kit Fox can come out and win one as well. So I think he made the right choice. And again, it's up to, I mean, anybody can come out and win it no matter what aircraft you're in. It's a lot of pilot skill is involved as well.
well, yeah, and you saw it last year, especially because, you know, he's flying the Carbon last year. Oh, yeah.
We got
race
MP
number
Troll
28
and the 28. Yeah, go ahead, Versus. Take it away, brother.
So we are doing the Spec class in the RANS S6S. So everybody's going to be flying the same thing. And this puts it purely to pilot skill. So race number 28, MP Troll from Australia. Number 75, Byron Bowman from Louisville, Kentucky. Number 86, LBR Gaiman from Arkansas, USA. And number 22, the man that we were just talking about, the winner from the Unlimited class, California, US, Norcali J. And you know, speaking of Norcali, all I was really going to say is, you know, flying the Carbon last year, he had a lot of stiff competition. He still managed to pull out wins, you know, and it's just unbelievable. You know, that's almost you know, the plane it didn't have the power that the other ones did. So the fact that he's able to pull off as many wins as he did last year just goes to show the pilot skill. I mean, you got to have pilot skill to be flying a plane that doesn't have, you know, as much benefit to it. But yeah, great work out of Norcali.
Absolutely.
And so
Spec class here,
the Spec class,
the
amazing
RANS
class.
S6S. Absolutely love this bird. Flyboy Simulations product. He does a great job. This aircraft actually just got fully redone for Microsoft Flight Sim 24. I love this plane, man, and he is a RANS guy through and through. Currently working on an S21 for the sim as well. MP Troll rocking the National STOL livery for the RANS S6S. And all this has got is a little 912 Rotax, little 100 horse, but it will put down some good numbers. Very fun plane to fly as well. Really an enjoyable aircraft, and it's very popular around in the bush world on the simulator for sure. Affordable aircraft too. We've talked about a lot about very expensive planes in real life. This actually is quote unquote fairly affordable, especially if you build it yourself. So the RANS is just a great plane.
Yes, and affordable in the simulator as well. If you want to pick up a copy of it, you can get it at many of the different Flight Sim stores, including in the official Flight Sim stores in 2024 and 2020. As Kando mentioned, is newly redone. So I think it's still only $15 to pick the plane up.
Yeah.
So wonderful plane to get, and I imagine if you pick it up, any of those proceeds are going to help to get that S21 out a little bit quicker from
Absolutely.
the developer. So I know we're all in the Bush world are waiting for the S21. I mean, we have known about it for quite some time, maybe about a year now, and it's just one of those planes that like I will be getting day one, even if I haven't flown in the sim for a month. I don't care. I'm gonna put everything on, and I'm gonna, take the day off of work and fly the S21 for sure.
Absolutely. Not only is there an S21 now, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, so keep it on the low, boys. But he's also teaming up with another developer, and they've got a Rans S7 coming out as well. So you're going to get the full lineup here of Rans aircraft coming from Flyboy and Associates. He's working with another developer on the S7. So I like the Rans aircraft. They are absolute performers, and I'm excited to see the S21 and the S7 coming soon to the sim. Keep that on the low, though, boys. Hey, just
don't tell anybody.
I'm not going to DM. Yeah.
I will say this: the S7 is a hell of a performer in national STOL during the real life competitions. There are how many S7s, Cam? I think there's two of them.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. As of right now, one of them is going to be going bye.
Oh, okay.
And we've got
we
the
have
green
a green
flag
flag
here for MP Roll lining up here. He's going to put that power in. I think this one will float that tail, so we're probably going to see a little bit of that, but I'm sure we'll see a good variation here of takeoffs in the Spec class. B-Troll has got that power up.
Yeah, I love to see the pilots doing the Spec class. You have MP Troll, Red Baron, NorCali are, three of the pilots that you see flying in almost every Spec class.
Absolutely. What I love about the Spec class is it really puts the pilots on a platform, not the aircraft. You can't say, well, his aircraft was better than mine. Well, guess what? You were all flying the same thing. So it all comes down to pilot skill here. And it's a great way to showcase what you can do in the same aircraft as your other competitors.
Yep.
Yeah, you can only hope for favorable wind.
Sail nice and high. A little bit long there. Again, the Rans is only rocking a 912, a 912 Rotax. So 100 horse kit plane fabric aircraft. It's fairly light, but she needs a little bit of room to get off the ground. That's for sure. LBR gaming on the rollout. Looks like we're having, most people are minimal flaps on the ground roll and then kind of introducing them last second. I'm actually pretty favorable to that method in the Rans. So it looks like everybody's somewhat on the same page here on their ground rolls and the techniques being used.
I think it's perfect for the Rans because, again, as you mentioned, there's not a lot of power in this plane, not a lot of excess power. So, if you have those flaps down, you're just going to be creating more drag, essentially taking your roll out even longer. So the longer you can wait to pop those flaps and rip it up into ground effect and then effectively off into the sunset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great takeoffs from everybody there.
Yeah, they're going to be working pretty hard today because it's 86 degrees out there and the density altitude is 4,475. So, yeah, I mean, a 100 horsepower engine is definitely going to be, especially for it not being turbo or not having a turbo. It's going to be working.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got our takeoff distances here. LBR with a 285, Byron Bowman with a 328. 378, and NorCali with a 379. I believe that to be accurate. got a few different places there, but pretty tight competition here for the spec class on the takeoffs.
I've always wondered about the RANs because it doesn't have a mixture that you can modulate. It's it's rocking the Rotax, so it's not going to have a mixture. But I wonder if it had, a plane that had a mixture, would you have a better time up higher in this density altitude and on a warmer day like this where you could modulate that? Or does the Rotax do a better job than, modulating the mixture yourself?
That's a really good question because like you said, it doesn't have a mixture, so it's automatically modulated, I imagine.
Does this aircraft have the
Rotax.
FADEC is the question. Yeah, is it FADEC would be the question.
Well, it has a choke. I know it has a choke, so I'm not. That's interesting. I should look this up and find out because I know people are going to be wondering.
Well, I think the bottom line is at 100 horsepower at 4,500 ish density altitude. It's going to struggle regardless, mixture or not. You're not going to make any more power. So it's just not a lot of power for the density altitude that's present here today in Ontario, Oregon. MP Troll coming in here for the first landing. Wow, that was either right on the line. Oh my goodness. That looked tight. I'm not sure what that one was. I don't know if they're going to call that a scratch or if they're going to call that one clean. We'll see here in just a minute. That was an impressive landing there from MP Troll. It's currently under review. We'll get back momentarily if that's going to be called a scratch or not. Either way, impressive performance. Let's just see if he can get those numbers on the board round one. Got Byron Bowman coming in nice and low. He's going to carry that energy low. Ooh, just over the line. They are on the money here in this RANs today. After review, there is no line violation for MP Troll, so they're going to call that one clean. And Byron Bowman, clean of the line. Great landing there. We'll get you some numbers as soon as they come in on what that one was.
In the meantime, we can talk about the 912 ULS. It does not come equipped with a FADEC, and it's because the engine is carbureted. So interesting to know. It has no FADEC, so it doesn't have that full authority digital engine control to it.
Right. 233 there for Byron. LBR Gaming on Pro.
Ooh.
Very nice.
That was hard to tell. I mean, it looked like it was over the line, but he looked super close to touching.
Gave up a few more feet. Ooh, that was a close one. I'm curious if they're going to put that one under review.
Oh, he's 24 feet over race control.
The line. Yeah.
That's a good thing he let off the brakes.
243, just 10 feet longer than Byron. Here comes North Cali. I know he's got some time in this RANs.
Oh, that was a great landing from North Cali.
Oh, very nice brake balance there. This is going to be a tight one here, I think.
Yeah, probably going to be the shortest landing so far. And yes, shortest landing so far.
Current standings for our Spec class can be LBR at the 528. NorCali with 553. Byron Bowman at 611 and MP Troll at 786. That's our current standings for round one. LBR Gaming has got a nice little lead on NorCali, but not far. And we saw what NorCali did in the unlimited class. Nice takeoff there from MP Troll. He had a very long one round one. So definitely improvement on his score there. Going to put him in the competition now. Byron Bowman's lined up. Getting those flaps in. Little long, but that seems to be the average for the day. Some long takeoffs and some very decent landings here for the Rands. Again, density altitude is a killer, and they are definitely battling it today with this carbureted 912 Rotax. 346 takeoff there from Byron. Control is on the roll. Very nice, smooth takeoff. Could have maybe rotated a little bit earlier, but he's off the ground. OBR had a 202 takeoff there. Sorry, 384, my bad. Two numbers there. NorCali is on the roll here, really aggressive, getting that tail nice and high.
Ooh.
Oh! That was close.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think it touched. If it did, I didn't see it.
Look like a touch. But yeah, still think it's winds calm out there.
Yeah, I think it's just being aggressive and maybe trying to make that airplane fly just a few seconds before it really wants to. But it worked out for him there.
Yeah.
Like we have MP Troll coming around on final here.
Yeah, winds
His
not
shortest
even
takeoff of
lifted in the
day.
day.
Got a 382-foot takeoff. Let's see if he can maybe take some room off of this landing here and get some good numbers on the board for round number 2.
Balloon
Coming
there.
in nice and stable. Gonna give up some room there.
Yeah, gave up close to
Nice
100
and
feet,
aggressive.
huh?
Yeah, very nice and aggressive on those brakes so to maybe save a little bit of that ground roll. And if he's on Xbox too, there's a decent chance he might be working with a button brake as well. Not 100% on that. He might have rudder pedals, but if he's working with a button brake, that makes it even more impressive. Byron Bowman coming in nice and low on his short final, and we're going to have a scratch. Unfortunate for Byron in round number 2.
At least there's
He was-
one more round.
One more
For Byron
round.
Bowman.
He was pushing it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a great landing for him.
We do have one more heat after this as well.
Okay.
Cedric, Jesse, and Frozen Alaskan are all going to be coming up after this
Amazing.
heat. So they'll have the chance to see where they got to go, what they got to beat.
Yeah. LBR Gaming coming down, dragging it in. That looked like a scratch to me. I'm not 100% sure.
Called scratch.
Pushed her a little too hard and ended up with a scratch, but that's all right. It happens. You know what this reminds me of is, do you guys remember the old 170B, the original 170B that we used to have in the competition? It reminds me of
Yeah, the old
when
Sow.
I found out that Victor was pushing forward to get like the weight on the wheels and brake like that, and it kind of causes that like teetering. So you got to be really careful on the brakes. But I think that's going to be the key to landing this one, is keeping the weight a little forward.
Yeah, you can see almost everybody is really getting that nose low and that tail nice and high on these landings. The Rans doesn't have the greatest brake, so all the weight you can put over that main gear is definitely going to help you get this thing stopped as short as possible.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's like riding a unicycle while juggling. You know, it's one of the hardest things to do, is to keep that from nosing over. You really got to tap on the brakes and dance on them. And so, yeah, again, if MP Troll is on a button brake, he must be talented.
It's all about that muscle memory. We do have a lead change here. NorCali is currently in the lead, but not by much, coming in with 520 total. LBR Gaming with a 528 coming out of round 2. Byron Bowman 611, MP Troll 657. We have an 8 foot difference between number 1 of NorCali and LBR Gaming of with 528 in second place there. So LBR is on the heels of NorCali. MP Troll getting out there. That was a nice takeoff. But again, this is only round 1 of the Spec class. We do have another, I believe, 3 pilots after this. So I'm sure they're studying tape. Byron Bowman's on the roll here. Very nice. Kickoff there. Seems to be pretty average for the entire pack on that takeoff distance. It's really coming down to who can land it shorter. They're pushing the limits on the takeoff, but some are getting a little shorter than others, and that's what's making the difference here in this leaderboard. Byron Bowman had a takeoff of 321 there. LBR is up, nice and smooth.
I always love to see in the chats on YouTube and the Twitch, everybody's cheering on their favorite pilot. It's pretty cool how, you know, we're doing a virtual STOL competition, but still everybody has their favorite pilots. Now, I last week mentioned my favorite pilot for the week, and I don't think I'll do that again because I got a lot of crap for it. So I'm keeping out of that from now on. I'm neutral.
You know what we could do, though? We could do the chat's fan favorite. Who did everybody in chat enjoy watching? And that way we don't get the heat for it.
Yeah, we'll let Chad answer that one. Chad, who is your favorite pilot of the day throughout the classes?
A fan favorite. Okay, there we go. Looks
Hanger
like
Studios is playing it safe. He says go favorite pilot. I mean, he's a developer, so he doesn't want to make anybody mad either. You know, he's got planes to sell. Very nice ones. That's right. That.
Coming from Race Control, though, next competition, we might have a fan favorite category that you guys can vote on. I think that would be pretty cool to get chat to vote and maybe give a little credit to the fan favorite of the chat.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Dark Tales, I can't be the fan favorite, man. I'm not out here. That's not how this works. MP Troll. Oh, just a little bit extra power. Oh, he got a little nervous.
You know what we could add, though, Kando? Best hair, because I know damn sure you're winning that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, best mustache we could do between me and Cam. I mean, because I think they're both pretty solid.
Oh, yeah. They are. I'm going to give it to you, though. I mean, like,
no,
you got the full, like, dude, you got the, you got the, what is it, the horseshoe, man? Like,
yeah,
you got it
she's
full
pretty
on.
nice.
Like, I just had the mustache.
Yeah, you got to get them. You got to get the full horseshoe, man.
Got them ape hanger handlebars, man.
Oh, Byron
Seemingly
with another scratch in round 3. The pressure is on. NorCali is still hanging on to this lead at 520 feet. But again, LBR is right behind him.
Is it just me, or does LBR seem very presidential? I mean, I know it's not like LBJ or FDR, but like somehow LBR, like this guy might even be the next president.
Well, considering it stands for Little Black Rain Cloud, I really hope he's not the next president.
That's true. Yeah, you got to be at least 35, so.
Coming in, he did have a long takeoff there in round 3. See what he can put down. Very nice and controlled over the line. He's up on that main gear, right on the logo.
Dancing with a date to touch grass, but he doesn't nose over, keeps it under control, and it stops a lot shorter for it.
285 feet landing there for LBR. Remember, LBR did take the win out there in the backcountry class. So we've got 2 class winners here kind of competing. And speaking of, here comes NorCali. Oh, no.
Oh,
he's not going to be happy with that.
Ooh, they did call it.
I think that's still going to be. He's going to take the win here for the first round, though. We do have 3 more pilots. So even though he couldn't improve on his second round, he's still going to hold on by 8 feet over LBR. We've got another round of pilots coming up here now. 3 of them in the Spec class with the Rans S6S. And they are looking to beat 520 feet to take the win. We'll see what they got, man.
Yeah, so no one will be cracking any bottles just yet, but pretty nice score there. It's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, we've got the scores up here. NorCali 520, LBR Gaming 528, Byron Bowman with a 571, and MP Troll with 657. Everyone put on a great show out here for us. Again, you could really see that density altitude coming into effect at Ontario Oregon Trail eSTOL. 520 is the number to beat, boys, and I think they got their eyes set on it.
Yeah, that density altitude is still holding true around 4,500.
We've got our next 3 competitors here. Cedric, he Rans S6S, Jesse Dobbins, Rans S6S, and Frozen Alaska, of course, in the Rans S6S, as this is the Spec class, comes down to pilot skill.
Yeah, I love since we've added the Spec class in, because it's something for the crowd to look forward to each and every competition. You never know what it's going to be. We usually try to release it a little bit later on. I mean, we got to give the pilots enough time to do a little bit of practice, but you know, it's kind of interesting. And as a pilot, as a competitor, I would imagine it's probably really exciting to, you know, hey, get that plane, find out what it is, and now you get all this, you know, maybe a week or 2 to practice for it. And I think that's the best part for me, is not knowing what it is, you know, and then when you find out what it is, it's like, heck yeah, dude.
Okay. Yeah,
well, so it looks like we had a pilot's PC crash, so we're just going to chill out for a minute here, guys, and talk with chat, see how you guys are doing out there. So who's enjoying the show so far?
Beers it up, and sipping on a cold one. You know, I think everyone's enjoying it. It's been a great competition. Some crazy landings, some crazy results here. I mean, some upsets as well. Chat, how we feeling out there, man?
I know I'm excited for the after party. So if it's going to be on Kando stream, I already set up my flight sim stuff. That way I couldn't not set it up afterwards, you know, because it's a little bit to set up, but I got it set up here. So I'm going to be partying down and doing a little bit of flying with everybody who's ever going to the after party. And I think Kando so graciously said he was going to host it, so I'll be flying out there with everybody. So if anybody's welcome to come in and fly, and it'll be over on twitch.tv/oocando. And it's
the name of the game.
Kando, how do you spell that?
Bumping some tunes. We're gonna be bumping some tunes, drinking some cold sody pops. They call them road sodies, or maybe air sodies. We'll be some over there. We might get some Tupac roll. Hey, who knows, man? Maybe a little Alan Jackson. We'll mix it up over there. So yeah, come on by. I'll drop the link in the chat. And if you've ever been there, you know it's a good time, man. We always have a blast, and today is no exception to the rule. Today is no exception whatsoever.
I might hop
and
on
FAA,
there
if you're watching that, the road sody comment, FAA was a complete joke. We don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you got to go to the bathroom, just land on the side of the highway and go right there. No, somebody did that, though. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but like a couple of years back, somebody had to go to the bathroom, so they just landed on the highway and relieved themselves and took back off.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see
Can
that.
you imagine that?
Jonas
well, no,
Marcinko.
it was this was a 172. They were on like a 4-lane. Big dude jumped out, takes a leak. The dude's like in the car behind him, and the guy just jumps out, keeps it running. That dude doesn't even turn it off. Parking brake, hops out, goes into the ditch, climbs back in, and just rips out.
I mean, I couldn't imagine like not having a bottle or something, you know, like just to. I mean, maybe he didn't have autopilot, didn't feel comfortable, you know. I mean, I guess it's better safe than sorry, but that's insane, you know, to land, you know, essentially like, I mean, I don't know what the rules are for sure, but I mean, it seems like you'd have to have a pretty good reason to land on a highway, disrupt traffic like that.
I'm sure he got a phone call after that.
Couple phone calls.
All right, looks like we're back in action here. Now we've got our issues sorted.
All right,
seems
runway
like
switch.
The wind has changed a little bit, so the pilots have decided they want to switch the direction of the runway.
I'll say this, man, that's got to be heartbreaking for our first round boys. If there's a little gust of wind picking up here, this could change some things.
Yeah, definitely, depending on how much the wind picks up. But I mean, even a few knots, and you're going to see, you know, some better scores overall. Definitely.
They're getting
and again, for those of you guys that may just be tuning in, we're waiting for one of the competitors had a PC crash. So while they are switching runways here, I think we're still waiting for our competitor to get back in. So never fear, though. We'll be back in action here in a second. Oh, Frankie Poops in the Burstix TV chat with the shout out and link to Kando's chat. So that's where the after party is going to be, guys. I'll be there. Frankie, good to see you, my man.
Yes, sir, Mr. Frankie. Good to see you.
And off congratulating the 3 wonderful casters on our job today. I appreciate that. I always love a good compliment, especially from Anoff.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, we try our best.
Really, really fun time. Everyone always asks me, they say, Kando, when are you going to compete? And I say, you know, man, That's what I always tell them, man. It wouldn't be fair, and I want to keep the competition fair. I want you guys to have fun. So I said I like watching it and talking about it, but I don't want to break any hearts out here, and that's why I just stick with what I do best, and that's talk. Because
if Kando starts competing, all of a sudden he's going to be building a garage to put all those trophies and all that metal inside. That's expensive if Kando starts winning. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Come on now. You got to think about the reality of things here.
That's right. Frozen Alaskan in that beautiful Alaskan wolf livery there. Switching up the runways. Things are going to look a little different here for these 3 rounds. Oh, dang. Who are... All right. Looks like we've dropped a competitor. Jesse and Frozen will be the 2 competing in this round. Maybe some PC issues, but we'll let her rip. Either way, unfortunate that we had to drop a pilot, though.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while we'll have a competitor not be able to get their simulator running and for whatever reason. So due to time and other things, we move on. But still got a couple more pilots here, and they're trying to beat a hot score. Okay, never mind. Cedric did make it back in, so scratch that. But either way, they're still trying to beat NorCali's score of 520. So NorCali, chance to win 2 of the classes that he participated in today. And 520 is not going to be easy to beat, depending on how much that wind picked up, and if we can have race control throw up our wind for us so we can see what the wind is like today. Now, this is real time, guys, so if you're not familiar with the simulator, first of all, this is on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and all the wind socks and everything in the at the airport here in the sim all work, and the weather is live. It's real time weather. So you're seeing what is exactly going on at this time at the exact same place in the real world.
Absolutely. And it looks like maybe just slight gusts there. I really don't think they're going to have much of an advantage, but we'll have to see what it plays out. You can kind of see that windsock, but I mean, it's pretty true to just calm winds. They might be a little variable, a little gusty, but I think it's going to be a pretty fair competition here weather-wise. Fishfoo's got the green flag. Sorry, Jesse with the green flag. Sorry. Oh, my bad. Cedric with the green flag, getting off just over the logo there. And that ran. Beautiful. There it is, updated. And there we go is going to be Jesse and that beautiful yellow and black Rans. Anything around that center logo or just after is a very competitive takeoff. Frozen Alaskan up on the line here. Looking to compete. Jesse with a 344-foot takeoff. Cedric with a... Not sure. That doesn't look accurate to me. So I'm really not sure. He's up. Ooh. Oh, coming back down just a hair. Almost drug a wing there. Frozen Alaskan's up and away. Jesse again with 344-foot takeoff. Cedric, I'm not sure about Cedric's. Frozen Alaskan with a 317. It looked like that aggressive rotation there really paid off. He cut off some good distance from his from Jesse. Yeah, we got our line up there. NorCali still 520, LBR 528, Byron 571, MP Troll 657. Just did our takeoffs for round 1. They'll be coming around here for the first set of landings. trying to beat that 520 for that #1 spot. Cedric coming in nice and stable. Nice and stable over the line, or down on his final here.
And good over
Not
the
giving
line.
up a whole lot.
Not giving up a lot at all.
Yeah, getting her
Very
stopped right in
nice.
line with some of the other landings we've seen today. So great job.
262-foot takeoff there from Cedric. That is short, and that landing looked very nice as well.
Hey, I don't know if you can get any more controlled than that. I mean, that was a phenomenal job from Cedric.
Yeah.
We've got Jesse Dobbins on final for his first landing. Round 1 here. Cedric is knocking on Norcali's door with that first round of 522. Uh-oh. Jesse Dobbins just over the line, not giving up much.
Wow.
What do you
And
think
you
about
see what
that,
happens.
Cam?
Yeah, that looked
put that
really
weight.
good. It was nice and smooth.
Ah, that's beautiful. Put the weight on the wheels. Get the brakes really working to your best advantage there. I think that's the shortest landing we've seen.
They either studied film or there is a little bit of a wind change, and they. Oh no!
Well,
Rosen, an incident on final.
I wonder if it was
man.
PC issue.
Not sure. Or maybe just way too slow on final. I don't think the live stream caught it, but we definitely saw it over here.
yeah.
We'll wait to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah,
Cedric
that
P
will
is lining up.
result. That will result in a disqualification from the round due to damage to the aircraft. So
Yeah.
that was Jesse Dobbins, correct?
I believe
No.
that was Frozen Alaskan. Yep.
Oh, Frozen Alaskan.
there. Cedric P is knocking on Norcali's door. Only a 2-foot difference in total. If he locks it in here, we might be looking at our new Spec class leader, but we will see. Again, we still have 2 rounds left from these 2 pilots.
Yeah, and they're going to be trying their best to beat that score of 520. Not going to be easy, but it could be done.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to beat that number.
I don't know if Cedric's a 2-foot off. You know how he could easily do it, but you're right. It's going to be tough. It's going to have to be the perfect situation, the perfect scenario for Cedric.
Yeah. Hopefully that
Yeah,
wind
when you
picks up here in a second.
You said Cedric is knocking on the door. I think he's already in the house because he's he's that close.
Yeah. Looks like Frozen Alaskan was just too slow on final, unfortunately. And that happens. Sometimes you push the limits just a little bit too far and exceed that critical angle of attack. And unfortunately, we know what happens when that takes place on short final, and it's not pretty.
But yeah, disclaimer: this is the simulator because
Absolutely, yes.
we did have the FAA called on us one time for an eSTOL video, so it was mostly good laughs. But I still can't believe that
you know what?
somebody thought it was
That's
real.
impressive, though, that they thought it was real life, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sometimes I even see, like, if you're looking around on Google, sometimes you'll see images that you know are from Microsoft Flight Sim that are like people think it's the real world, so they put it on there. You know, I've seen it a few different times, and it's like that's not the real world. That's Flight Sim, but a lot of people wouldn't even notice the difference.
Looks
That's
like we
gonna
have
be
a
a scratch.
scratch there from
Yeah.
Cedric. It's going to come down to round 3.
Yeah, still got one more round to pull it off.
Jesse Dobbins on final. Hit a 351-foot takeoff for round 2. If he can bring it in right around that 100-foot marker or just after, but he's looking for a gust of wind here, I'm sure, to make that happen. He's still in. He's still got a shot at this as well. We've been talking a lot about Cedric, but I mean Jesse's not looking too bad either.
Ooh,
Wow.
Let's go.
Did not give up much room there at all. Wow. Oh,
Amazing.
My goodness. Was that sub 100?
Yeah.
I think we have a
It
new
looks to
leader.
be.
Oh, no. And we talk about tight competitions. 522 for Cedric and Jesse, with Norcali only 2 feet ahead of them at 520. It's going to come down to the 3rd round.
Oh, man.
We need some hype in chat, boys. This is a STOL competition. Are you kidding me?
Here we go.
Yeah,
White
they're
flag.
pretty wild. I mean, it's honestly
what are the
way
odds?
the way that the landings are coming out. I mean, they're getting shorter and shorter. I think everybody's catching on as the competition goes for the spec class. That I think everybody's catching on. You need to keep the weight forward, and that's going to be the difference, I think.
We're going to decide right here in round 3. Cedric is on the roll. He had a scratch in round 2, wasn't able to make up any room. Going to look long, I believe. The pressure is on between these two pilots.
Yeah, he's going to need a substantially short landing.
Absolutely. Chat's blowing up saying we need a fly off. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a tie before.
We did have one, and it was, I think, 2 competitions ago. We had one. I think it was between Norcali and Cat, if I remember correctly.
MP Troll says he's got 50 on the Rands to win it, and I'm with him. I'll get in on that bet.
I think that's a safe bet right there.
Gonna come down to the landings here. Looks like we had a 321 takeoff for Jesse, 406 for Cedric. And they have got to come in. All right, race control saying if they do not beat their score here of 522, we're going to have to do a fly off for 2nd and 3rd place here. This thing could get spicy.
Yeah, if they tie again, though, it goes down to a dance off. So we'll need crowd reaction. No, I'm just joking. Be great, though. Little dance off. And, you don't have dance offs like you used to anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know about that.
That was a scratch.
Oh, no. Is that what we're calling it?
I think so.
He was clean. Touchdown at 12 feet. I don't know if he made a good enough landing to take the spot, though. 237, he's not going to have it. Comes down to Jesse Dobbins here. If he cannot beat 522, it's going to come down to a fly off, a sudden death match. Which I don't think either of these want to go to that point, but they might have to. Oh, added a bump of power there. It's going to come down to sudden. Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm not saying anything. That's
It says black flag, so
So is Cedric going to take that 2 spot?
Well, their scores
is
before
it-
the black flag will count. So if they were tied before that,
Right.
they should.
But
they
he can't
should
fly in the sudden death.
Ooh, that's interesting. We never had this happen before. That
Are
is.
they going to? I don't know.
Somebody call the police. We don't know. No, we'll have to consult race control on this one, but that's really interesting because I've never seen this happen before.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting word from race control. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at
The
it
word from race control is, yeah, he nosed over, so he's technically not allowed to go sudden death for the fly off.
right.
Yeah, and I think the way that you
destroyed at
the
that
way
point.
that you
Or
look
not
at it is
destroyed, but
the
Yeah,
prop
I mean,
is
he would have
damaged. Yeah.
a broken prop. This is an interesting way to end it. I don't can't flip a coin because that's just not fair.
Yeah, well, nose overs are always exciting. So I think the crowd at least got the excitement of the nose over. So yeah, we don't get the runoff, but the nose over was just as exciting. So I think it's a win-win.
They'll just have to, they'll have to figure out who's going to get the points, or maybe they'll both tie for second and get the same points. I don't know. That's definitely
that's another
interesting game.
that is another interesting point, Kando, because then how do you split up second and third?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hate to be race control today.
That's right. Well, I think we had a great day out here. Yeah. I think we had a great day at Oregon Trail eSTOL. We're going to go take a peek at the final results of our Spec class here. I'm sure they will have to hash out that second and third place results there. Norcali with the win there at 520 feet. Cedric P. and Jesse Dobbins tying at 522. Unbelievably close. LBR Gaming with 528. He was right there as well. Byron Bowman 571 and MP Troll at 657.
So Norcali eking out that double win today by just a slight 2 feet. I got to hand it to him, man. Norcali's the man. And
that's it.
Everybody else, I mean, obviously you did a great job, but when you can pull it off, even if it's only by 2 feet, that's just another win to throw under the belt, man. Congratulations to Norcali. Congratulations to all the pilots today. I appreciate everybody who came out. Kando, was great to get to cast with you. I didn't even know this little triangle of casting was going to be happening today, but man, when I saw you in the Discord, I'm like, no way, dude, we get to cast with Kando today. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, it was fun, man. You know me, I like yapping, especially yapping about bush planes. There's not much more I enjoy in life than that. So thank you guys for having me.
Heck yeah, man. Cam?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Thanks.
Yes,
for coming,
sir.
dude. Thanks for being here, everybody. So, guys, don't forget to like the stream, put the thumbs up on the YouTube, all that good stuff. We are going to have a little bit of an after party, do some bush flying over on twitch.tv/ucando. But until next week, we are out of here. Congrats to all the winners today. We love you. Av Geeks and Stole Freaks, we'll see you guys later.
Deuces.